This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
News breaking this afternoon in a very cool video. Russell Westbrook has announced his retirement from the NBA. 9-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA first team, MVP in 2017, 11 years in OKC, had stints in Houston, the Lakers, the Clippers, Denver, Washington, Sacramento, but a legendary player for the Thunder. Brew, your reaction to this news?
Well, look, I think you said it, legendary. And he is. He is a legend. I think he will be remembered. He obviously didn't win a championship, but he'll be remembered as an athletic marvel.
Yep.
A spectacle. Like when you can play sports at the highest level, which obviously the NBA is, you're talking about the greatest athletes in the world, and you stand out for your athleticism and your energy. That's special. Now, I used to say he would be iconic, like an Allen Iverson, like a Pistol Pete Maravich, who also neither won championships, but they're icons. I said it because he averaged triple-double 4 years. Jokic doing it the last 2 years has taken a little bit of shine off. It's still a tremendous achievement. He's the only one to do it 4 times. Jokic with 2, Oscar Robertson with 1. But if Jokic had never done it, it would just be like, this is incredible. I think now we feel like maybe Luka 1 year, somebody else might do it as well, and Jokic might do it a few more times. So that to me takes a little bit of his iconic status. I don't think he'll be an icon. He'll be a legend, all-time great, obviously a Hall of Famer, on the top 75 team already, rightly so. And he's just, I could put him in the category of an Iverson. I would say I think you'd rank Iverson ahead of him.
Touch higher.
But yeah, but Iverson, of course, I do think is iconic.
Yes.
Like he kind of is the poster child for the meshing of NBA and hip hop culture. Yep. Russell doesn't have that, but a legend, all-time great. And look, if he had played, it would have been fine. But, it's not always great to see the legends kind of on the decline. LeBron's still obviously playing at a very high level. Westbrook's not at the same level. Played well last year, but I think it's good that he's stepping away and he should get his flowers.
When this show first started was the year he won his MVP. And even then, in the midst of winning the MVP, he was somewhat polarizing amongst basketball media, basketball fans, but certainly at that point, the fledgling and now full-fledged analytics crew of how good is he really? And I remember one of the things I used to say 10 years ago was, if you have a kid that plays sports, Russ might be the #1 guy I would tell them to watch, as far as you have no idea the time of the game, if it's a playoff game or not, the score of the game, if you watch his effort. And I thought that was so
even if you're playing for Sacramento.
Say it again.
Even when you're playing for Sacramento.
But this was again, when he was with the Thunder. But yes, he was full energy at all times, full effort. And I do think the analytics community has a hole in some of the algorithms is the difficulty of being that high usage, what it does to your own efficiency, but how it potentially helps some of your teammates' efficiency. Because, like, Iverson took all the bad shots for the Sixers. And so peak Russ, I think, was a better player than he is remembered for being by some of the smart numbers.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything you said. I think we would probably have him around the same spot on our all-time list. I tried to jot it out. He's right around like right outside the top 10 for best guards ever, but inside
Point
the top
guards or
just
guards?
guards period. Like but inside the top 15, he's in my top 40-ish players of all time. He's in like the same area of like I have him ahead of Nash and right behind AI, right around Walt Frazier, that area. And so I want to give him his flowers, especially today. I also think he is, cautionary tale is too strong, but a bit of a lesson in refusal to evolve or adjust and how that can hurt you once you're no longer the athletic marvel he was at the beginning of his career. Because I think he could have had a better, more productive, and not individually productive, but team winning-wise, been a part of winning more if once he was no longer the best athlete in the league, he was willing to adjust a bit. But
I don't
he never.
know if I remember last week. I think it was last week. You said to Josh Allen, can he play different?
Can he play different?
No.
I don't know that Russ could. How many years did he play? 18? 18, yeah. He was what he was. I agree with you that was necessary for him to really win. But I just think he was what he was.
Final note, I'll put a bookend on your statement. My son's name is Russell, and his first NBA game, we went to see Russell Westbrook because it was like his favorite player. So we went to the Garden. He has a little Westbrook jersey on. And also, just outside of basketball, I remember when he left OKC. And then I remember very quickly he was back in OKC running his charity there. So obviously like a great basketball player, also just by all accounts, a great guy.
He's like by the NBA legendary tipper, great to the people around the arenas. Like he's kind of like surly on the court, like with my only friend was basketball. But off the court, he is considered one of the best guys in the league. And
look at the loyalty he showed OKC.
Yes.
Yep. Great career. Congratulations to Russ. Other basketball news happening today: the Lakers were sold again. Mark Walters Group, which owns the Dodgers, bought the Lakers in June for a record $10 billion, previous June, and then turned around and sold them today for $12.5 billion. New owners, former Disney CEO Robert Iger and Josh Kushner. That group releasing a statement that said, our long-term commitment is to build on the Lakers Foundation, compete at the highest level, and serve this extraordinary team, its fans, and the city of Los Angeles. Your reaction to this macro level, and how do you think this filters down to on the court?
My macro level is this is a little weird.
A little bit.
And I've never seen house flipping, but with the NBA crown jewel franchise. And they were sold for a valuation of $10 billion, like you said, just about a year ago. Now sold with a valuation of $12.5 billion. So one way to look at it is, hey, 25% return in a year. Sign me up for that hedge fund. That's great.
Yeah.
The specter of what you can't ignore, Wall Street Journal reporting just a couple weeks ago that Mark Walters, the main guy in this group, the Walters Group, is under FBI investigation. I think it's also hard to ignore the fact that he was just at the White House because of the Dodgers celebration, and a couple weeks later, the brother of the president's son-in-law bought the Lakers. Like those are all just timeline accurate things that happened. And all of this is very odd, particularly on the heels of them potentially trying to buy the World Cup, not being able to do that. And so I think there will be really good investigative journalism on how all of this came together. I know the reporting today is this happened in 3 days. That feels unlikely to me that you can buy the Los Angeles Lakers on a Wednesday after first broaching it on a Sunday. But again, I'm not doing the reporting. It just strikes me as difficult. I tried to buy a house once. It took 3 months to buy a house. I had a lot of paperwork. But on the court, I do know that when the Walters Group came in, everyone was like, a new day in Los Angeles. They know how to run pro sports teams. You're going to have the smartest people. You're not going to lack for resources, all of this. I'm not saying Kushner and Iger won't do that, and they do have some history in, Kushner owns a piece of the Heat. He's going to have to divest of that. Iger owns an NWSL team, so they have some history there, but it's not the rich history of what the Dodgers folks had. So if I were a Laker fan today, I don't think I'm overwhelmed in a positive direction by this news, but my initial reaction was a little confusion and surprise at never seeing a team flipped like this, especially a team like the Lakers.
I feel like speculation based on the reporting, I feel like this is definitely related to the investigation. Like maybe Mark Walters got a tip, whatever, that he's going to need some money. And so I think he did. You don't buy a team to flip it like a house, as you said. I mean, you just don't, especially the Lakers. These are the Lakers. Like, this is the glamour franchise of the NBA. So that's my take on it. I could be wrong.
Just devil's advocate.
Yeah.
It's nice to make $2 billion.
How much is he worth?
Nothing.
How much money is he worth?
Yeah, but you don't think he bought. I mean,
Right. He's worth so much
I know
money.
it's all leveraged and everything, but I'm saying it's a pretty sweet
No, but I'm
return.
saying you didn't. But I
he's
just
probably worth so much money. I don't know the number offhand, but
no. I guess my only response to that, I agree with you, but if they're worth $12.5 billion today, unless he thinks it's going to go down, it's going to be worth more.
Right.
You know what I mean, in the future. And one would think he bought it for a long-term thing. Something I agree
if
with.
it went up $2.5
my gut
billion
is
in
or
9
the
months?
Bus family made a terrible deal.
Well, that's it. Well,
That it was worth 12 last year, and they sold it for 10 because they screwed up.
And I don't think they made
just
it
quickly on the
deal.
fine, and this is not our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But it's worth noting, the Celtics are also a marquee franchise. They don't own their building. The Lakers rent from AEG. They sold for $6 billion.
Well, that's why I don't think the Buses got robbed.
Double the Lakers,
Yeah.
to 12.5.
But he threw out a huge number to, But anyway, as far as I agree with you that Walters, they know what they're doing. Look at the Dodgers.
Yes.
I mean, the Dodgers were great, but just couldn't get over the hump. And they went out there and spent all the money it takes to create a super team, and they've won the last 2 World Series.
Paying for it for decades. I'll put some interesting
No, I mean,
accounting there.
he does
Yeah.
go ahead and he's doing whatever it takes to win. Now, I get it. Baseball doesn't have the salary cap like the NBA.
No, but Wilds' point, he's also deferring a lot of that money down the road.
Yeah.
Everyone's on like the Bobby Bonilla deal.
But hey, that's all right. He's trying to win now. I bet you the fans, appreciate it. But so I think Iger, obviously on Disney for a long time, or CEO of Disney. You would think he'd be a good owner and stuff, but the Walters, that group knew what they were doing. As far as the basketball team, look, and this is not, regardless of what the ownership was, I think now, I threw out last year, and I never would have said this 2 years ago. I threw out last season. It is very much on the board, and Luka is phenomenal. He will be an all-time great. But it's on the board, he never wins a championship. And I'm leaning well over 50% now that he doesn't. He could.
Why?
I think the West is so strong and the teams are younger, and the Lakers spend a lot of their money, which it looks like a solid team, a good team, but I don't think they're better than some of the teams they need to go through.
So he did release a statement today.
Yep.
I don't think we pulled it, but it was just kind of a boilerplate.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that he has the face. It was sort of like,
Yeah,
I'm
it was
officially
a
the
good-
face of the team. Here's my statement. My number one question kind of speaks to what you said. We heard countless articles or read countless articles like, you know what, they're going to take all the analytics guys from the Dodgers, bring them over. Magic's guy, Lon Rosen, became the Dodgers guy, then he moved over to the Lakers. What happens to this? Are people being fired now, or is this Iger-Kushner group going to
Line is
absorb
great,
this
so
group?
it'll be interesting to see. You're right, what they do.
Do you have
who's
more?
who's running
here's
the show
the other.
now?
I have one other question, and then very quickly one observation, then we move on. One question is also, if you remember, it was in writing, unlike the Cuban thing with the Walters deal, but Jeannie Buss stays in charge for like the next 5 years. How does that now survive a new ownership? And so like
I
that.
would think they would get rid of that.
That's what I think. Again, this is where I don't know how the contract law and things like that.
Right.
The other thing that I just want to say to sports fans as a whole, as these teams have these insane valuations, you're running out of human beings, individual human beings who it's like, I started a business, I did great, I'm going to buy my local sports team.
Oh.
And instead, it is, as we are into deca-billions of dollars to cost these teams, it is trickier and trickier to acquire that type of money without potentially all of a sudden having a Wall Street Journal article written like, hey, you might be in some trouble.
It's difficult.
And I have not been overwhelmed by some of the newest NBA owners. Matt Ishbia is one of the newest ones. He's in the Wall Street Journal today for various reasons. The newest owner for the Blazers, Tom Dundon.
Yep.
No malfeasance, but I just don't love how he's doing things. The casino folks who bought the Mavs, and now Walters, who we liked buying the Lakers, all of a sudden he flips it. Like, I do worry about sports in general, that the more that you need like foreign investment and private equity and things like that, is it going to get a little messier at the ownership level rather than will we long for the days of Jerry Jones? Guy made a bunch of money, bought a team, ran it himself. Like, I do wonder.
Yeah, it's a little mom and pop.
Exactly.
Now when you look at it. It's we're actually owned by a huge hedge fund.
Yeah, for real, as opposed to like the Mara family.
Which is what Walters is kind of being investigated.
And so I think that is just something that came to mind when I see how much these teams are worth.
That's interesting. Okay, we're moving on to the NFL. Chicago writer Dan Pompei of The Athletic sat down with Bears coach Ben Johnson, who we learn usually wakes up before 4:30 a.m. thinking about how his Bears can redefine greatness. That's what Pompei's writing. Here's one of two quotes from the Bears coach. Buckle up. You've got 31 other teams coming to training camp saying, our goal is to win the Super Bowl. I want more than that. I want to have the highest scoring offense ever, which happens to be the 2013 Denver Broncos. I know how many points per game they scored, 37.9. And I want to surpass them. I want shutouts. I want blowouts. Before we get your reaction, I'm not done. There's actually more. He also asked about the consecutive victories record, which the Patriots hold, 21 straight W's. What does Ben Johnson say? Well, why can't we do that? There has never been an undefeated season since we've moved past the Dolphins.
14, yeah.
The moon is the Super Bowl. We're shooting beyond that. For the stars. Okay. Very Buzz Lightyear-y from Ben Johnson. Your reaction to Ben Johnson's ambition?
I will say this. I do like his energy and his intensity. And credit to Dan Pompei, who wrote the article for The Athletic. Go read it. It's a great article. I thought his energy and intensity jumped off the pages. Like, I almost felt it. I felt it as I was reading.
You want to run through a wall for him.
Yeah, I felt, reading the story, I felt like,
Bench pressing 250.
this guy is a ball of energy.
Yes.
And I do think there is a positive in that. Like, him going into the facility, being so optimistic, being so energetic, we can do this, we can do that. I do think players can respond positively to that. I think it raises the standard and really makes them believe. Now, I think there's a downside. I think it's a mixed bag. And the quotes he had, it was right there. When you say, I want more than the Super Bowl,
he's actually
if you win the Super Bowl by a point on a last-second field goal, 17-14, you're not going to be happy? Because you didn't hit 38 points, because you didn't shut the team. Like, I think that is disrespectful to the rest of the NFL. And if I'm an opposing coach, I'm pointing this out. This dude thinks that he and his team are the God's gift to football. Let's go out there and show. I mean, really.
Yes.
So when you say, we're going to go undefeated, we're going to average 30. He wants to be he's saying they're going to be a mix of the 85 Bears, the greatest show on turf, and throw in the Tom Brady, Randy Moss Patriots.
Talking about going undefeated and then also starting the next year 4-0.
Yeah.
For the record.
That's
week 5.
It's two. And you're not coaching the Catholic high school in your city where you recruit all the best talent and you beat up on the inner city public schools that don't have a budget. All right? This is the NFL, and I think it comes off as disrespectful, as I said. If it works, he will be lauded. He will be legendary. If it doesn't work, he will be made to look, especially if they don't play well at all, He will look like a clown who didn't understand the level of football you were playing at. This is the NFL. Every team has great players.
I'm not known as the big spender on the show, the gambling man. That's really you. I'm willing to gamble everything that I've got. I'm all in with all of my assets and my family's assets. That the Chicago Bears this year will not run off a 21-game win streak, have the highest scoring offense of all time, and throw in a few shutouts along the way. I don't think that. And I don't think Ben Johnson should either. Okay? Last year, we also were on the hype train for Ben Johnson last year. Week 1, they lost to J.J. McCarthy, and they fell apart in the fourth quarter. Then for the whole year, and I know we have a lot of recency bias because at the end of the season, they beat the Packers, which were on a terrible losing streak.
They were also the 2 seed, right? They were the 2 seed and won their division, like your team.
Yeah, they were on
They were the 2 seed and won their division like your team.
I mean,
we did go to the Super Bowl.
I understand. No, but I'm just saying not to minimize what they did over the. You guys lost week 1. They lost week 1. You guys both ended up 2 seed, won your division. You guys had a better year, but I think
we had a better year.
I don't think we can just minimize what they did last year. They were hyped last year, and they reached the hype.
He is an offensive genius. Were they first in points last year?
No, they were ninth.
They were 9th in points.
Which was.
You know, they scored 1 more point than the Baltimore Ravens, who had a disaster of the season, had to fire everybody. One of Lamar's worst here. The coach is out, offense coordinator out. What's going on? Everything's broken. We got no wide receivers. Derrick Henry washed. What's going on? They were 1 more point. 1 more. And now he's like, you know what we're primed to do? Be the best offense of all time. It's
too much.
Hubris to the highest degree.
So I agree with that, what you're saying. I think the line is, and it doesn't really make sense actually, but you shoot for the moon, so if you fall short, you land amongst the stars.
Yeah.
Which really, I don't think actually, from an astronomy perspective, is accurate.
Stars are quite far away.
I think stars are further.
Moon's pretty close.
He's kind of twisting it. I agree with you, KW. He's not going to reach those goals, but if you fall short of highest scoring offense ever, fall short of an undefeated season, but win a Super Bowl at some point, nobody cares that you said bigger things. So I don't mind him having these goals. I think saying it to a reporter is ridiculous, except for this. And this is where your and my only Ben Johnson rub is. This is who he's always been. He has always, at every opportunity, wanted to be, if not the lead actor, the co-star of his team's offensive movies. And when he was the play caller for the Lions, I was the only person who didn't like it. When they were doing trick plays up 30, and I was like, I hope you have a lot more left. You guys loved it. And you were all over it, and you wanted them to stick it to the Cowboys.
Yeah. They did. Remember they lined up.
They lined up. You loved it. So I'm surprised that you're surprised that now that he is the head coach, he is coming off, even though I do think you minimized it, a very successful season. They were a 4 or 5 win team. People were in training camp last year like, I don't know, what about Bajent and his arm wrestling dad? And all of a sudden, they win the division, they win a playoff game, all those things. The 9th best scoring offense in the league for the Bears is amazing. Like they're not historically a good offense. To be surprised that he is leaning into who he's always been is, to me, silly. Like this, he has been a guy that talks a lot, that is very brash.
For a guy who talks a lot, this is like
This is beyond.
We've never heard a quote like this.
No,
I've been doing the show for 5 years.
This is way.
We talk about man, you shouldn't be talking about the Super Bowl. He's talking about winning the Super Bowl and then starting next year
with a few
undefeated
wins.
and going after legendary teams.
No, I listen. I said here's what it feels like. The only thing I can comp it to. It feels like the personality we've seen from a lot of legendary college coaches. Feels like Steve Spurrier. Feels like where you are the star. where
didn't
you
work
are
in
the
the
star
NFL
of the
for
program. No, and you are, and this is what we're going to do. You're right, we don't hear about it in the NFL. I do think I think he's a very good coach, and I think they're going to be good, and I think he is as a very sharp offensive mind. But I think it is a touch unfair to Ben Johnson to be surprised that Ben Johnson has stayed Ben Johnson.
Predictions week coming up. August. I mean, what?
See, we have. This is a great. Is it Mandela effect? What is it? Where like KW was convinced Ben Johnson took his shirt off a bunch. He did it one time.
He did it once.
I couldn't believe he did it one time. It's been haunting me in my
You only have to do it
nightmares.
once. You only have to
How many
do it
times do you take your shirt off, Coach?
I mean, every day, but when you have a body like this, why would you hide it? You know what I mean? The gift.
Predictions week. It's going to be great.
Also, Coach, in the article it said he can do 250 bench 6 times. You can.
That was
crush him on
impressive.
that, right?
I think I do 256 times.
Yeah, Coach
That
can
was
crush it.
impressive.
Head to New England. Drake Maye was asked about a good problem, having too many weapons in only one football. He was asked about what his plan was for keeping everyone engaged and happy, and here's what he said.
The best thing, for that is winning. I think nobody really, tries to complain when you win games, and I think nobody's, really, that, prideful in this sport about, personal stats or achievements when we're winning games. My job isn't to try to make everybody happy. I think my job is to, have the offense, move up and down the field and score points.
Make me happy. Your reaction, Nick, to this wonderful quote from Drake Maye?
I think it is a super smart quote from Drake Maye. I think is the exact way the quarterback should look at things. I think the only part that was misguided is when he says, I don't think anybody's worried about stats as long as you're winning games. I don't know if he's, up to date on the Patriots offseason transactions, but their major addition is maybe my number 1 draft pick in the league as far as a guy who is on the record that winning games is not what makes me happy. In fact, winning a Super Bowl,
2 days. It'll last 2 days.
It'll last 2 days, and then I will go back to, and Brew and I both asked for this to be pulled. This is the Instagram he posted 2 days after the Super Bowl. We'll put it in a quote board so people can see what it actually said. I tried to feel everyone made it seem to be a champion. Fortunately, it was short-lived. 2 days to be exact. Never been a champion at the highest level before, but I thought my hard work would be justified winning it all. It wasn't. My thrill for this game comes when I dominate. It's the hunt that does it for me. It's when the DB drops his head and surrenders because he can't F with me.
Heck yeah.
Really?
What
And he had a
was,
good Super Bowl.
What was not included there was, and I take massive pride in running a go route as a distraction so someone else can get the ball to run the old, for the love of the game, clear out route. So I think Drake Maye has the right mentality, and I think if you're a Pats fan, you're hoping A.J. Brown has adjusted his, because a lot of those upset A.J. Brown locker press conferences came after wins.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the Eagles lost. It was often they won, but the offense wasn't good enough or he didn't get the ball enough and he was upset. So that would be my concern if I were a Pats fan.
Yeah, I think Kevin must have gone to Patriots training camp and used those Men in Black glasses on Drake Maye so that he couldn't remember what was said by the dude that they just picked up. And so here's what Drake Maye said is exactly right.
Yes.
Throw the ball to whoever's open. And
that's what he did last year, and they were great because of it.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to make it exactly right, and that's how Tom Brady did it. Now, the difference is Tom Brady had cachet and could as he continued to grow, it didn't matter who came in, he was going to do what he did, and everybody fell in line with that. Drake Maye's not there yet, and with AJ, it's one of those things where as much as he may try to do that early on, I just don't think he's wired that way. And when you have a young quarterback, he's going to get a lot of pressure, and he hasn't had to deal with a personality like that. The Stephon Diggs that he dealt with was on team number 4.
Right.
Okay, so that or three or four.
No, 4.
It was 4. So it was a radically different type of Stephon Diggs, and he got a great version of it. And I've worked with challenging wide receivers that believe they're always open, whether they're covered or not. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't stay quiet. The frustration doesn't get hashed out in the meeting rooms. It gets hashed out on the field. It gets hashed out, on the practice field, and it can be a real problem.
Yeah, I hate to say it, Wilds, but this is problematic.
No way.
AJ, wants numbers.
Yeah.
He wants a gold jacket, and he's got his Super Bowl. And that obviously didn't
got a
please
Super
him.
Bowl
But
and
he's
his
got
money.
his Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's got his money. He wants to put up numbers and dominate, and that means he wants a ton of targets, all right? Look, he went off in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts was his good friend at one point. Like, really good friends at one point. I don't think he has that relationship with Drake Maye. He had not only been to a quarterback that hadn't been to a Super Bowl like Drake Maye, he had a quarterback who had won a Super Bowl and been the MVP, still did not deter him. So Drake Maye doesn't have close to the cachet. I don't know if a quarterback has enough cachet for AJ to be like quiet and, okay, I'll just respect the situation. He did it with Devontae Smith, who really is a number one. We'll see that this year, as his second receiver. You think he's going to respect Kayshon Boutte and
Dobbs.
Okay, yeah, Romeo Dobbs. He's not close to Devontae Smith. Romeo Dobbs.
Very good player.
And he had Saquon Barkley as his running back. Ramondre Stevenson supposed to. He had all these other weapons and was not happy sharing the wealth. What's he gonna do in New England now?
Would you say it would be his dream to be in the Hall of Fame? Like you think
Yes.
that's his ultimate goal? I think that's fair. You know what else is very powerful? Childhood dreams. And when you see a guy who has always wanted to be a Patriot and is steeped in Patriot culture, finally wind up in the Patriots and post things on his Instagram with a song called Heaven, and is just radiating joy and happiness, I think that he is going to be happy following the Patriots culture that he saw growing up. So here is a stat of Patriots culture last year and even in Tampa Bay. Teams to make the Super Bowl with the most players with 35 or more catches. 35 or more receptions, including the plays. So the Patriots last year, the Bucks in 2020, and then the Saints. So I think A.J. Brown gets it. I think that he has always wanted to be a Patriot.
So you're
I
saying
think
that was a distribution of targets to multiple players?
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's saying he thinks that AJ's going to be fine with that.
Yeah,
That's what he
no.
said.
I think the Patriot he thinks about is Randy Moss. That 1 year when Moss was
Well, I don't know. He
spectacular.
freaked out when he had an Edelman jersey. The guy has. This is what I think is unfair to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown had a few comments that even you agree with, like, hey, this offense is basically broken in Philadelphia. And then on the sidelines, he read a book. A little bit.
You say that like that's just, and he was reading a book.
Did he really read a book?
KW, that's
Like
not
that's
all it
just a
was.
small
What else
thing.
was it? He had a few. Tell me.
Okay, it was, I don't know, 6 or 7 locker room press conferences over the course of multiple years, including the first of which was when the Eagles were on a long winning streak and was asked, basically, why are you upset? And he's like, the passing game's not working. Yeah. That's what started it. It then culminated in him telling the world, drop me from your fantasy team when he was on the Twitch stream.
So good guy.
I don't like, and it also was fractured the relationship between your beloved Jalen Hurts and him to the point, and that's not, us just doing tea leaves. Brandon Graham, midway through it, went on the radio in Philadelphia. He's like, I don't know what happened. They used to be friends. They're not anymore.
Yeah.
And
And he read a book.
So yeah, and he read the book on the sideline again and again. That and whatever this was. But that's fine. I'm not even. What I am most interested in is what is the evidence you have, or why do you have the belief that he has changed? What's happened? Other than the fact that as a little kid he was on the Patriots. He was a Patriots
He is
fan.
in a completely different culture.
So
Yeah,
So if he has
his third
81
culture.
catches or whatever.
Well, second, it was Vrabel's culture. And
No, see,
And just getting back to the whole childhood dream, don't you think most people dream about winning a Super Bowl if you're a
Right.
child?
yeah, but well, I mean, Patriots.
He had
yeah,
the dream
just-
and it made it happen for
well,
2
it's
days.
1-1. You want to be on the Patriots. You're going to.
Yeah,
win the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
okay.
I think if you're in a situation where the offense is broken, and I like Jalen Hurts, this is not a Jalen Hurts thing. If you're in a situation where the offense is broken and you're cycling through offensive coordinators and you don't feel like you are being
They
used
won
to
the Super Bowl, KW.
Yeah.
They won the Super Bowl in the midst of it being broken. And it's
Right, that's
like
what he
that.
was
But your whole
complaining.
like this.
He wasn't complaining. That's.
No,
He was
it
complaining
started the year they won the Super Bowl.
It looked like
He
he
was
inspired
reading
them
the
to
books
play
on
better.
the
He was reading
sideline
the
the
books
year they
when they
won the
won
Super
the
Bowl.
Super
So then it's not a problem. So then what's the problem?
Well,
So if
exactly.
he's reading a book and wins the Super Bowl, what's the problem?
You know what? I bet him getting traded to the Patriots satisfy him for 2 days.
There's just no evidence
That's
that
more
he is
important
going
than
to
winning
be.
the Super Bowl, playing for the Patriots?
I think a few things. One, I think that we're misinterpreting his. He's just saying like he's still hungry for winning for
Not
more.
for winning,
No, not
for
for-
dominating
no, for
individually.
dominating the game.
Which can
I
help
disagree.
you win a
Look,
Super Bowl.
Do you know
but
a lot of great players that are traditionally traded twice early in their career because, it's not problematic? Like in the history of the NFL, it's just like, oh, yeah, we have an unbelievable young,
I do think
talented
it's-
player. Let's trade him.
I do.
Oh, we
Well,
have
don't get
him
me
too.
wrong. The Titans
Let's
And we
trade
won
who
the
let
Super
go
Bowl.
of Mike Vrabel, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry. I just don't think they are the bastion of wise decision making.
Right, but
Totally
and
get
then
it.
if your former
Then he
coach
went to
wants you
another
back,
play.
No,
I
but-
feel like it's different if your former coach wants you back.
But
though.
he didn't kidnap him. The Eagles had to want to get rid of him. This is to
Because
me.
he's wanted to move on.
Because he wasn't getting his touches.
Yeah, I mean, this is to me where it is.
Do
And
you
the
think
Eagles
A.J.
are-
Brown will have a successful year with the Patriots this year? Yes or no?
By whose standards? A.J. Brown standards or league standards
Your
or
own-
whose
your
standards?
own
Good
standards.
question.
I don't know how that chemistry is going to work. I am very concerned about the chemistry.
I take that. I wish you went last.
Here's what this is what I find the friction here is. Someone is to blame for A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts having to break up. You are an ardent Jalen Hurts doesn't get enough credit for all of the intangible stuff, the leadership stuff, all of that. So I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, that you are not one of the first people to be like, Jalen Hurts blew that. I think most people feel like A.J. Brown, even if some of the complaints might have been valid, the way he levied them and the overall kind of firestorm he created within the locker room, particularly this season, was counterproductive to winning. And it feels to me like your stance is, yes, but as a little kid, he wanted to be a Patriot, so it's going to be all better.
How about this? I don't think the things that happen in the Eagles locker room and in the Eagles leadership would happen in New England.
And
Just because he likes the Patriots.
Well, I think
No, it's a Vrabel Sirianni
but I think there's the leadership of Mike Vrabel is a little different than the leadership of Nick Sirianni.
that part I agree with.
I don't know that that's gonna keep him from doing. If he's not getting the
But they
touches he
did
wants,
trade him when
I don't
Mike
think
was
that's
still
gonna
the head coach of the Titans, right?
Yes, but then
Yeah.
he ends up letting, I don't think Vrabel is happy about that.
Okay.
I think that I think that's true.
I
think
don't-
that's true.
I'm just
don't.
saying it did happen while he was still.
I just
part-
don't
part
know.
of the
Is there
I
any?
thought he wanted to throw his ball. I don't know. I got to.
I don't know if
He
there's
did.
many
Yeah, Vrabel liked
places that A.J. Brown could have been traded to that you would have felt, well, now he's going to be a totally different guy. But maybe it is because he
It's a
grew
special
up.
place.
I
maybe.
hope it works out. I mean, I'm just concerned with a young
No,
quarterback.
you might be
Yeah,
right.
that's the,
I'm
you
not
don't
saying.
want Drake May going out there feeling like I gotta get
I
it.
gotta throw him the ball.
right?
No, that's not how we work, guys.
But that's, babe.
not
I
how
almost
it
called
works.
you baby.
He's not Tom Brady.
AW,
I mean-
AW. We don't know how Drake May works with a star receiver. He's never.
I should have pulled the video of him celebrating when he got
KW is
Elliman's
going to nominate A.J. Brown for Walter Payton Man of the Year.
It might be.
Because he wore a Patriots jersey for Halloween once.
Wonderful episode of Weird and Wonderful. Weird Rangers, Angels in the fourth. Fly ball to left. Wyatt Langford loses it. Center fielder
Yeah, he did.
comes and grabs it. It's the old
range.
classic.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good teamwork.
Good
Good
range.
job, Evan Carter.
Yeah, good job. Wonderful Bucks practice.
for Wyatt.
Look, the throw, I'm not saying we're at full speed here on throw, but the catch, do you see it?
No, I was watching the other one.
It's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
Somebody
Oh, that's pretty good.
You know what? I still miss Mike Evans. I think the Bucks will miss Mike Evans, but he looks great.
But, well, he also, by the way,
Ibuka.
left practice today with a toe injury.
Ooh,
They're
that's
calling
not
it
good.
minor. I'm telling you right now,
Ibuka?
toe injuries,
No.
not a fan.
Not good.
Never good.
Not a
Ibuka
fan.
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I ask you a question,
for
Coach?
receivers.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, the veterans always want to get out of training camp. It's so hard. All the videos, it seems pretty chill. They're doing social media games with
Yeah,
Gianna.
Training,
They're like,
training camp changed dramatically
Yeah, it's
over
okay.
time.
different now.
just seems like a
Those-
blast.
But also,
Those early days were
also
they're painful for coaches.
a lot of teams only let people take video during like warm-up period, stuff like this.
Oh, okay.
So like, there's a lot of teams that just really restrict what.
Remember, you have like the ping pong balls. Like, who do you like? You put it in. You know, Gianna, you seen that? Weird. Mariners in the Bronx, up the middle, bounces off second. George Lombard Jr. makes a great play. Everyone's high on George Lombard Jr., huh? What do you think about 96?
He's been
What's
playing.
96? What are you talking about?
It's just way up there.
96.
Oh, it's his number.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what we were referencing. Okay, sorry.
The
You don't like 96?
No, but
Well,
the
they're just
Yankees
running out of
used-
numbers.
The Yankees used to. They gave Jeter 2 because like you're going to be great. I'm going to put you in monument. And they gave Aaron Judge the other way, 99. 96 is interesting.
Okay. Cool.
More wonderful. He doesn't believe in Babe Ruth, but he sure is good at baseball. Pete Crow Armstrong taking on the Cardinals. Not enough. Nationals win 8-6. Coming up at the.
I like that you won't let that go.
I will never let.
I
it
think
go.
people should be. I think there are certain takes people should be shamed for, and we need to. Tony Kornheiser was right about Kyrie's flat earther thing being the tip of the iceberg for people just opening the aperture on crazy beliefs.
Yep.
And
doesn't-
saying Babe Ruth is a, like Paul Bunyan.
Yep.
I think I agree with
That's
you.
up
It never ends well.
I like to use the word aperture.
Oh, yeah.
KW taught me that word.
Yeah.
Any Red
Sorry about
Sox
this.
highlights in here?
No.
Gosh darn it.
In the 10th, this is the Dodgers.
Gosh darn it.
Max Muncy walks it off. The Dodgers win. They're 8.5 up on the
I stayed up to
Snakes.
watch that game.
The Royals are
60 back.
The good news is
In last
though,
place.
You expect it at this point. I mean, your expectations are low.
It hasn't
The
been a good
pain
year
was-
for the boys in blue.
Yeah, earlier.
That's true.
It's all right. Next year.
Next year.
And Jack Caglione looks great.
Yeah, and Bobby Witt's awesome. And
Yeah, Bobby
hopefully,
Witt-
hopefully
yeah.
we can re-sign Pasquale.
Yeah, where's he going?
Well, I don't know. You know, the Royals aren't known for paying a lot of money.
Oh my goodness, Pasquatch on the move. It'd be good to have him in New York.
I mean, I hope he wherever it is, I hope Pasquale makes a bunch of money.
Afternoon headline sponsored by Ram Trucks. Dak Prescott wore a vintage Cowboys champion T-shirt. Said he wants to lead the Gotti, greatest offense there is. Wait till Ben Johnson hears.
Yeah, you love that. You know, a great point. He said the same thing. He just didn't say a number of points, and you loved
But
it.
he said greatest offense there is, meaning this season. I took it that way.
Why are we hesitant to say that's what we're playing for, the Super Bowl? I don't know if it's just getting older, having kids, and blatantly not caring too much what other people think. But if that's what this is about, then why is anybody being hesitant about it? And why is it, honestly, such a big deal even saying it? That's Dak to Albert Breer. What are your thoughts on this, bro?
I have taken the Cowboys to task in the past for talking about the Super Bowl. Mainly, though, it was because of Jerry Jones. Always talking about the Super Bowl in training camp. This is the year, blah, blah, blah. It not being the year for 30 years. And I felt Jerry simultaneously, as you're talking about winning the Super Bowl, putting that pressure on your players, we have the team to do it. I feel like he's simultaneously doing things to work against their chances of winning the Super Bowl with all this talking, after games and right outside the locker room every game, going on the radio every week. Like, I feel running the team like a soap opera. It's a drama, and I think that takes away from the team is ability to be the best they can be. This is not that. This is Dak saying this is our goal, which it is the goal for every team. He's the leader of the team. He didn't come out like, man, we gonna be awesome this year. Everybody better watch out. We winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, he did say
we gonna be the first undefeated team since the schedule went to 16, 17 games. No, I'm fine with it because he's in his 11th year, and it's time for him to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And the Cowboys too.
Pendu we were 1-50 in the Jets when Parcells got there. We went to the AFC Championship game and then won 3 Super Bowls in New England. Was with Jim Harbaugh. We went to the NFC Championship, went to the playoffs as head coach. So went through a lot of different winning experiences. And in none of those experiences were we talking about the Super Bowl in preseason. What we were talking about is whatever was in front of us, whatever the next thing we had to do was. And when you listen to podcasts or listen to different experts on leadership and success and all of the things that traditionally go into achieving your ultimate goals, it's never about just putting it out into the universe. It's about focus. It's about controlling what you can control, which is the moment that you're in, because you can't do anything about the past. You can't do anything about the future. What you can control is this moment right now. So to put this out there, it's a big deal because, yeah, everybody wants to win the Super Bowl. We get it, but that's not what's important. What's important is in front of you. And I know Nick will say, well, that's not fun. Don't talk like that. That's no fun.
Coach thinks I haven't changed at all in the 10 years we've worked together. You rubbed off on me a lot. That shaved head, Nick. That was wild, willy-nilly.
It's just unnecessary. You're right, Brew. It's unnecessary pressure, which is usually provided by the owner, who is completely backed off of that. And now we're going to be the greatest offense, whatever that acronym was. And now we're going to win the Super Bowl. And the best record the dude's had was his rookie year when he hasn't won 13 games, right, since his rookie year. So maybe we need to go back. Maybe that should be the goal. Let's get back to 13 wins. But so why is it a big deal? It's a big deal because it's unnecessary, it's a distraction, and it doesn't win.
Counterpoint. I've made a list.
Okay.
Who is allowed and who is not allowed to talk about wanting to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
You're going to love this, KW. Here is who is not allowed.
Can you tell me, is it one specific phrase they are allowed to say?
We're talking about.
Like we want to get Matthew Stafford. Like we want to get back to the Super Bowl.
No, hold on.
Not to jump your list, but
before the season starts, talking about our goal is the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Here is who is not allowed.
Oh, not allowed.
Not allowed. Bad players. Not allowed.
Yep.
Players on objectively awful teams. Not allowed. Everybody be like, okay, shut up. You want to sniff 500. Oddly, teams that have been this close and had the door slammed in their face. So like Josh Allen.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Wow.
No, because you're getting ahead. That's them putting the banner up. So you might say, okay, who does that leave? Who is allowed? People that are already champions. We have one goal around here. That was just win another title.
You can say that, definitely.
Players who are about to be or who were just drafted. I'm bringing a Super Bowl to this team. Allowed.
They're allowed. Really?
Allowed. On the stage.
Do it like
on the stage or in the interviews going in.
That was totally on board.
They don't know.
Lamar was like, you're getting a Super Bowl out of me. That is allowed.
Yeah, like players who were just drafted. Like AJ DeMonsa. What am I going to do in Washington? I'm bringing him Super Bowl.
Yaxel's doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Those are longtime veterans who are good and have never actually been that close.
Correct.
Which Dak is.
Guys
who have been like I've been in the league a long time. Everybody knows I'm good. We haven't even come that close. The team, but you know what? It's the only thing left. We gotta win.
Lamar allowed?
Lamar's a tricky one because they haven't been close. So maybe.
No. If Derrick Henry can bring it up, but Lamar can't agree.
So is Dak allowed or not allowed?
Dak is allowed. He's a longtime veteran who hasn't been close, who everyone knows is good. He's allowed.
I agree with everything you said except the rookies.
But it's
if a rookie walks in
with your draft
to win a Super Bowl.
No, it has to be before you're drafted or the moment after.
Yeah, with your draft hat on.
Yes, on the stage.
Not now.
No.
Fernando Mendoza, we want to win Super Bowl.
No. The last guy found that said it was Terrell Davis in 1997. Now, they were close the year before, so it doesn't fit your thing.
First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks.
Live from New York, the show that wants to ban books.
What?
You guys don't like reading anymore.
What? Oh, this is an A.J. Brown thing. I didn't know what he was talking about.
That's on the sideline.
KW.
Not
you
exactly.
I'm a fan of reading in all places. I love literacy.
During games. Are you okay with your kids reading on the sideline?
Oh, yeah. I support them reading.
On the sideline of the games?
No. For the record,
I'm going to get him a couple books.
KW is a fan of buying books, reading part of them, telling you, dropping into conversation that he's been reading that book,
No,
and
that
not
was
finishing
that.
it.
That was
Are they
that
like
one.
first
The book
edition?
you gave me, the Rick Rubin book.
Yeah, that was. I got it.
You
Did you
give
ever
people
read that
books
book
a
I
lot,
gave
though.
you? What
You
book
just
did you come up
What was it about?
about hip hop?
no, he didn't read it. The fact that he's
Christmas
Yes, I did read it.
Did you read it?
Was Sasha Jenkins wrote it?
No, Jonathan Abrams.
Yes, I did read it. Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm not sure. I read it. I'm not sure.
I'm a big fan of literacy.
Okay.
It's a doorstop at his house.
No, I read
Just
it.
kidding.
It's a great
Just
book.
kidding. I
It's a
believe
great
you.
book.
Is Nick Sirianni on the hot seat? Meanwhile, can anyone stop Polo? We're counting down to the 3 and 250 Grand Prix. But right now, wow, you're in for a real treat. Last night, while fervently defending the idea of wearing seatbelts, an elite committee of savants, analysts, and people that will tell you, I'm ready to Count of Monte Cristo. Okay. How's that going? I got one update on that. It's supposed to be a great book. I got one
I didn't
update.
say I was reading it. I said I ordered it.
You had it in your hand.
The Count of Monte Cristo?
Yes, you showed it to me.
I did?
Yes.
Wow.
I haven't started. I did start reading the Odyssey, or the Iliad.
Oh, give me
Because
a
when the
break.
movie, I was like, I'm going to read it before
How's
I
that
see
going?
the movie. I had to tell you,
He's on page
even
3.
in the kindest translation, that thing's a bit of a struggle.
That's rough.
Homer was really not messing around. And that's only part 1.
Fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all sports. It's an honor and a privilege. It's time for Nick's Tears.
In the committee's tiers, thank you, KW. Let's get right to it because there was a bit of off-the-air argument yesterday about A, what was or wasn't a deep sleeper in the NFL, and B, whether or not I invented the term. And so let me make this very clear before we reveal the bottom row of the tiers. I am not claiming that I invented the term deep sleep. Like, obviously, people, REM sleep's important. People use that all the time. In the context of people throwing around, oh, the Giants are my sleeper this year, that's a shallow sleeper. A deep sleeper is these teams, which are the history says tier.
You invented this.
Yes, the idea of picking an NFL team to make the playoffs that would, here's the deep sleeper test. Would you go, oh my God, they made the playoffs? Before the year, if you're like, I'm picking this team, and everyone would be like, you're crazy. But here's why it's the history says tier. All of these teams are 100-1 or longer to win the Super Bowl. Last year, team that was longer than 100-1, the Carolina Panthers, made the playoffs. The year before, 2 teams that were longer than 100-1, the Broncos and Washington, made the playoffs. The year before that, the Houston Texans were 200-1, they made the playoffs. The year before that, the beginning of the disrespect of the Prince, they were 140-1, they made the playoffs. And had an all-time playoff comeback, by the way. Almost every year, a team that has, these are the 6 teams in the league with 100-1 or worse Super Bowl odds. History says one of them's making the playoffs. Do you have the courage to pick it? I don't.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Could be okay. Speaks for itself. Seems could be okay. I don't really have much more to say about them. They could be okay. They could win 8 or 9 games. They could. I don't know that I believe they will. They could be okay. Committee kind of mailed in the name of this tier, I'm going to be honest with you. Marshall is kind of already on his summer Fridays on a Tuesday night. NFC South. That's exactly what it says. It's the NFC South. I like the Bucks. Colin, I know, likes the Saints. I think KW likes the Panthers. Danny probably likes the Falcons because I'm sure they have some fancy offensive wizard he likes. Like, it's the NFC South. Someone's going to go 8-1 and win it, and I hope it's Baker. And I hope he gets hot in the playoffs. Concerning camps, so Laramie Tunsil's injury is a huge deal. We don't have time to list the Niners concerning injuries. These are older teams like we've talked about, Coach, that we don't love. the fact that they have one of them already has one key guy done for months and the other one has a bunch of guys out intermittently. It's just the bad part of training camp. You don't love it. Can it all come together? Can the Bengals revamp defense on the fly come together, plus finally get a good offensive line year, maybe a bit of a rushing attack, and Joe Burrow stay healthy? If all those things come together, they're obviously dangerous. The Chargers. Can Mike McDaniel somehow create a legit receiving core out of the guys they have? Plus, what was the offensive line questions last year at tackle? Is it not going to just transition right now to the interior of the offensive line? And, oh yeah, by the way, can they get some type of sports hypnotist to convince Justin Herbert before the playoffs? It's September. If so, you're in decent shape. And then for the Texans, what is the deal and who is the real C.J. Stroud? And who are we going to see? If they get just good production from the offense, that could be a Super Bowl team, that defense, and I think D'Amico's so good. Feels like something's missing. So for the Lions, they just lost their center. Frank Ragnow retired. Then the replacement center is now out, I think, for 3 months. And then his backup, Juice Scruggs, is out, I don't know for how long, but he's injured as well. That's sneaky, maybe the most important position on that entire team, because Goff, if you pressure Goff, no quarterback likes getting pressured up the middle, but Goff in particular, up the middle pressure just flips who he is. And for the Packers, I know what I think's missing. Micah Parsons for maybe, it might be the first half of the season.
Seems like it.
And that to me is concerning. Matthew Golden got dinged up. I haven't loved their receivers as much as other people have. I know they paid Christian Watson. I do think these two teams could be excellent, but it just feels to me right now, mid-August, something's missing. High ceiling, low floor, both these teams. We talk all the time about how the Cowboys, they could have a top 3 offense. They could have number 1 offense. But we've seen them have awesome offenses and not be that awesome because the defense didn't hold up its end of the bargain. Now they put a lot of money, a lot of draft resources in revamping that defense, but that does create the high ceiling, low floor. We have to see what that team's defense is going to be. Plus, it's not fair to call Dak an injury concern, but he is not like Iron Man level quarterback, and we know the team falls off even that month that Brew, remember when Brew was flirting with Cooper Rush quarterback?
He wasn't saying it, but
he wasn't saying it. People were calling into the odd couple and saying it. That's what it was. And the Eagles might be the highest ceiling, lowest floor, the best example of a high ceiling, low floor of any team I can remember in recent memory. I absolutely think they could be the number 1 seed again in the NFC like they were a few years ago. I also think they could be below 500 after Thanksgiving. We're talking about who's the next head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Prove it to us. 14 wins, 13 wins. 2 teams with, I'll go ahead and say it, polarizing quarterbacks. 2 teams that their fans feel like don't get near the respect they deserve coming off the year that they had. Broncos obviously beat the Bills in a playoff game. The Jags had a lead against the Bills in the playoffs, like 3 minutes left. I don't remember exactly what happened at the end. But I don't think either team has earned anyone's full faith. But if they come back this year, win their division again, or even if they don't win their division again, if they just win double-digit games, get back to the playoffs, then I think you start saying, okay, with Liam Cohen, with Sean Payton, with Bo Nix, with Trevor Lawrence, expect those teams to be consistent AFC playoff teams. They got to prove it to us this year. Measuring sticks, 2 teams with third-year quarterbacks, with second-year head coaches, both of which were the 2 seed, both of which won their division, both of which had, a story to tell about their playoff run last year. The Bears is the unbelievable comeback against the Packers, the great game against the Rams where they fall short. The Patriots, it's the dominant defensive performances and getting to the Super Bowl way ahead of Drake May's schedule. I say measuring sticks because I believe these 2 quarterbacks are going to be measured against each other their entire career. I know Coach would like me to include Jaden in that. I personally don't. I think these are the 2 best quarterbacks, not only of their draft class, but the 2 best quarterbacks in the whole league under, 28 years old, I think. And I think those 2 guys are going to be who they're measured against. I think they both have very different but excellent head coaches. I think they're both in right now stable organizations, and they're going to be measured against each other. One team tier. My team. Doubt them at your peril. Kansas City Chiefs. I understand, Nick, you're a homer. Nick, you got them. There's going to be the team with the 5th best Super Bowl odds. You've got them ahead of every team in the AFC West, the team that's favored to win the AFC West. I know, I get it. Here's the other thing I know. I know that every other team in the league is allowed to have a bad year. And we'll be like, oh, the Lions, they should bounce back. The Ravens, obviously, they'll bounce back. Bills, to their credit, haven't had a bad year. We expect them. The Eagles is supernatural funk, come right back and win the Super Bowl. Chiefs have one bad year, and all of a sudden we're like, I don't know. What can you expect from Kansas City? That's fair. They have lost the benefit of the doubt to some. I think that all Patrick Mahomes needs is his health, which he has right now, and a stable offensive line, which he has right now, and their floor in that situation is 11 wins. You add some other elements that I think they will have over the course of the year, and it becomes a 12 or 13 win team. We'll see. Is the grass greener tier? 2 teams that said we got to move on from the coach. Maybe. I get it. Every coach-quarterback combo that has ever won a Super Bowl together won their first one within 5 years. For Harbaugh and Lamar and for Alan McDermott, it was year 8. So they were like, it's not going to happen. And I know the Ravens had a bad year last year, but the bottom never really fell out for these teams. Right. And last year, you can attribute to Lamar's injuries, if you will. We'll find out. I'm not saying they made the wrong decision. I thought the Ravens needed to, get a change of scenery, if you will. And I understand what the Bills did, but it's risky. And apologies for not being definitive here, but the committee, trademark, can't decide. We've gone back and forth between who the best team in the league is. The defending Super Bowl champ or the champion of the offseason. These 2 teams played each other 3 times last year. It was as close as could be. The Seahawks are basically bringing everyone back except for, of course, Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker. The Rams, meanwhile, revamped their entire pass defense. The committee will know who it believes is the best team in the league before week 1, but as we sit here today, can't decide. That is preseason week 1 tiers. Coach?
So when you go through training camp and you have your installation schedule, even with a veteran player and things that you've done a lot of times, you can have a really sloppy day and you get frustrated as a coaching staff and you're thinking, well, how could this happen? And to me, that was yesterday with Mahomes balling. I mean, that was a mess. But then we come back today and we put in a different segment of the installation, and I think it's solid. I'm very happy with
I don't know if we need to rehash yesterday.
Well, I'm just saying,
this
is very much part of the preseason process, even for shows where you get back in.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Great job on coming back strong today. But like with any practice, there's things you can correct, and I think the Chargers are too low. So with the Chargers, you've got Harbaugh. They've got the coach that everybody said, they needed, and he's had back-to-back 11 wins. And where that's impressive is last season. So Herbert was hurt with his hand. He played through that. Hampton, he dealt with an injury a significant part of the season. They lost both of their tackles. Now they get both the tackles back. They addressed the interior part of the offensive line with four new players, 3 free agents, and a draft pick. That's good. They were top 10 in every offensive category last year, or every defensive category last year, even though they lost the defensive coordinator, the guy who's replacing him was part of the system. The issue was the passing game, so they bring McDaniel to address that. So there's a lot of positive things, and then you've got the vibes. Nobody loves Justin Herbert more than Jim Harbaugh, except maybe Mike McDaniels, followed by Danny. Yeah. And then the vibes in general, I don't know if we have, I mean, there's all kinds of love going on at the facility. Look at this. Yeah. Like this. You talk about confidence building. He's the most loved, he gets my MLP, most loved player in the NFL right now because everybody loves him, and that's going to help his confidence, and that should help springboard him.
So,
great take.
Listen, I probably should, for preseason tiers, have the Chargers higher because no month on the calendar is kinder to the Los Angeles, nay, San Diego Chargers than the month of August. Every August, they are the trendy team. And then by January every year, we realize all the holes in the team.
Yeah.
It's like we should have seen it coming. They had this goofy coach who went for it on 4th down. Yeah, they have these great defensive players, but they're hurt all the time. Oh, how can you ask Justin Herbert to not throw more picks in a playoff game than he did the entire regular season put together? But in August, the team always looks really good. And then in January, we're really not doing right by Justin Herbert. We'll see this year.
I'm with you, Coach. That was mine last week.
Back-to-back 11-win seasons with no offensive tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're probably
high on the
going to be
Chargers.
terrible.
It's not terrible. I don't have them terrible.
I mean, I'm like the 18th
They're pretty
tier.
low.
No, I mean, they're 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have them it's tied for 14th. That means they could make the playoffs for whatever it's worth. But go ahead.
I think my team is on that tier 2. Yeah, right next to them, the Texans. And I know Wilds will love this. They're too low. They have to move up. We know they have a top defense, and I get it. That defense can fluctuate year to year. But Willie Anderson, Daniil Hunter, they added Jadeveon Clowney. Like, that defense is going to be legit again. It always has been under DeMeco Ryans. These last 3 years, he turned it around immediately, and they're climbing. So they're going to be great defensively. The question, obviously, is the offense. They bring in David Montgomery, 6th in the league. In the last 3 years, he's 6th in the league in total touchdowns rushing. And that's with Jahmyr Gibbs on the team, who was 2nd over that 3-year stretch. Nico Collins, Tank Dell at some point. I don't know if he'll be ready for week 1, but he'll be back. That'll help the vibes. I think it'll help CJ. And I don't know if CJ will ever be the star that we thought he is. I'm not writing it off, but I definitely think he's going to play at least solid football this year. I think they're the best team in that division. I think they will win it over Jacksonville. So I think that Houston should be up.
It's a fair point. I have huge concerns about the scar tissue from that playoff run for C.J. Stroud, and if it has and the fact that it is because of that playoff run that they didn't give him a contract this summer, and if it has an impact this year. KW.
Again, I'm not the Bo Nix guy. Okay, I'm
Bring
not.
him up every week.
I'm not the Broncos guy. That being said, someone has to respect the Broncos and how good they are. It's just, it falls to me.
They're tied for 8th.
They won the AFC.
You keep saying that. Your team won the AFC.
Well,
You
they
gotta
won in the
stop saying
regular
that.
season.
They had the
won
best. They had the
AFC.
number 1 seed.
They were the number 1 seed.
There you
I know
go.
we
Yeah.
won. We were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they won the AFC.
No,
they didn't.
They would have
I
beat
wanted
you
to
had
win
they
the
had their
AFC.
had they had
You
Bo
said
Nix.
that. You said
I
they
didn't
would've-
say that, but I
Bo
could
Nix,
see
they
someone saying
Yeah.
that. First of all, Coach, I've been watching football. I came up with this theory, a little avant-garde. Games are won at the line of scrimmage. Thoughts?
I had never thought of that or heard it.
Look through the tape. Tell me what you think.
They have a great O-line.
They have a great O-line. Bo Nix does not get sacked, and the Broncos defense delivers a lot of sacks. They had the most sacks and only have allowed 23 sacks. So look,
Good.
Is Bo Nix an amazing quarterback? Maybe not, but everyone who's a pro quarterback, if you're sitting back there, you're going to be pretty good if you have no pressure. Guys is 24-10. Did they have an easy schedule last year? They did. But Bo Nix also beat Patrick Mahomes. He beat Josh Allen. Went into Philadelphia and won. Went into Houston before they rattled off 10 straight wins and won that game. Then for the Denver home field is only the Prince, and Prince played out of his mind that game. This is a real home field advantage of 14-1 in the last 15 games with Bo Nix. We're not counting the Jarrett the Javelin game, which I'm not saying the Patriots would have lost that game, but there was a point where we weren't even trying to get first downs because it was just, we were confident that the Broncos weren't going to score. I just feel like the guy deserves a little bit more respect.
All right, so can we just real quick throw Tiers back up there and leave the bar on the screen? So this is where I think the committee can get a bad name. There are 7 teams ahead of the Broncos on the tiers. See the little blue bar we have? Broncos, according to our friends in Vegas in the desert,
Yeah.
13th in Super Bowl odds. So the committee is respecting Denver far more than John Q. Public.
They cut up with them as well. I'm trying to move the line. I probably, if you checked it now, if you had live betting, I probably moved a little
Let
bit.
me ask you, honest question. Other than the Bears, who above the Broncos, and maybe the answer is the Chiefs, I don't know. Do you think do you expect the Broncos to be better than this year? I know last year they were the 1 seed. I know you think the Bears are overrated. That one's obvious.
Right.
But those teams that I had, Rams, Seahawks, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Patriots, are the other 6 teams ahead of them. You expect the Broncos to be...
I expect the Broncos to be better than the Buffalo Bills.
Wow. Okay.
I think
Veteran Super Bowl winning head coach to rookie head coaches, but I guess that doesn't matter, right?
DJ Moore is very good. Did we think he was as good as Jalen Waddle? We don't even talk about Jalen Waddle. Do we think Denver's defense is better than the Bills' defense?
Yeah. I think the gap in quarterback's massive. I think it's massive.
Okay. Well,
that's me just advocating.
And then could we see them playing?
No, we did see them play. No, that's why I said last year they beat them, and I give them credit for it. I don't expect Denver to be better than Buffalo this year. It'd be thrilling if they were.
I think they're going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, coming up next is Nick Sirianni on the hot seat.
We did this. Coach text the group chat. He's like, "Hey, can we do a coach hot seat combo in August?" We're like, "We got
waiting for it.
This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
Fox Baseball Night in America, Saturday at 7. Brewers, Dodgers.
Could be NLCS preview.
Yeah.
I know Dodgers got to get it back home, but
Snakes taking on the Braves. And the Red Sox taking on the Pirates. Some bad news about Skeens.
I know. I was going to bring that up. It's when you said 96 about the guy's number, what came to my mind was the Skeens thing about how he doesn't throw over 96
Yeah,
anymore. Like
that's how good he is, though. It's like he's only throwing 96.
yeah, but it's still a concern.
Check out Credible, great rates and Unlivable. Seahawks edge DeMarcus Lawrence wanted to run it back now that the Seahawks have gone from hunter to hunted. Take a listen.
I kind of had my mind made up that, if I won, I was done. But I kind of had a bittersweet feeling in my heart, understanding that, with the type of team that we have, we should have been where we were last year. This is where the hard part begins and, staying on the top. They say it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. We're the ones with the dot on our back. So, I just want to, see how that feels.
Seahawks bringing almost everybody back. Remember Brady's Bucks at the parade. Remember there was the boat parade, like we're bringing everyone back, and they actually did. 2011 Packers brought 21 starters back. Seahawks are bringing 20 starters back. Does anyone think the Seahawks are underrated? We haven't talked about them a ton, and it feels like the Rams took all their shine.
I do not think they're being underrated. They have the third best odds to win the Super Bowl behind the Rams and the Bills. And we know there are only 2 teams that have repeated as champs this century. And they had Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
Just coaching on.
That's Brady and Mahomes as the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Are we putting Sam Darnold in that category? In fact, there's been 8 all time. Bart Starr, Bob Greasy. Tell me when you hear one that Darnold's as good as.
Bob Greasy, maybe.
Greasy?
Bob Greasy, maybe, but go ahead. We don't have to. Sorry, Wilds.
Montana, Bradshaw, Aikman, John Elway, and then, like I said, Brady Mahomes.
Well, if he goes back to back, all of a sudden
he's
we
going to
will.
be in that
He'll
category.
be Bob Greasy, sure. But who's the quarterback who came closest that hasn't in the last?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Could he be Russell
Russ
Wilson with
at that
Seattle?
point
Russell Wilson on the goal line?
Yeah, Russell
But
Wilson there.
then there's that the Rams, their division obviously is tough. You got
Yes.
the Rams, and we'll see about the Niners. But the Rams look better on paper, period. Last year, the games were so tight. I think 3 points or 4 points separated them in those 3 games. So I think people are giving them a shot. Like, they still know they're great. They just don't expect them to repeat. And I don't either because of the history.
Well, I love the saying, it's no fun when the rabbit has a gun. I've never heard that one before.
You've never heard it?
No, that was the first time I've ever heard that saying. And what I really like about Seattle, now they're not being underrated. So they're favored in 15 out of 17 games.
Oh, wow.
And they do have the 3rd highest Super Bowl odds. And as much as you want to say you're being underrated, the reality is everybody measures themselves against you. But what I love about this is he's talking about this is where the hard part happens. And what did their head coach say about their offense? Are they going to have blowouts and shutouts? I couldn't remember. That was him talking about it, right? Oh no! See, they're not talking about that. They're talking about all the difficult things that are going to go into them being successful again this year. To me, which gives them the best opportunity to actually be successful this year. And it sounds like the words that are coming out of that locker room is it's going to be hard. And getting guys after you win a Super Bowl to realize how hard it is to do it again is one of the biggest hurdles that you have to overcome, because success is like a martini. It relaxes you.
So they do have, in my opinion, two notable losses. One is Super Bowl MVP and potential franchise changer Kenneth Walker, who had, I think, 350 yards in their 3 playoff games and 5 touchdowns, and was a huge part of their playoff success. Not as big of a part of their regular season success.
They drafted a running back.
But a huge,
Very talented.
And then Clint Kubiak. And that is one thing where we have seen the loss of the offensive coordinator and how that does or doesn't affect Darnold, especially with a defensive head coach. Like, that is something that I will at least flag as a, potential concern. Sure. But I don't think they're underrated from Vegas. I do think they have been wildly under-discussed by people who do what we do. I think that they're
not underrated. They just don't rate on TV.
No, right. So that's I think that they are correctly, rated in the odds.
Yeah.
But I think that what I do think was underrated last year, even in the midst of it, by everyone, and as much as I hate to give them credit, except for really Danny, was how awesome they were start to finish last year. They lost 3 games all year. Week 1, which Darnold had them, they were down 4. Darnold had them in the red zone through the pick, and they lose to the Niners. Their other 2 losses, Tampa scored 10 points in the final 70 seconds, including a field goal at the gun to beat them. Mm-hmm. And they missed a field goal down 2 to the Rams to lose that game 21-19. And so they had the brutal schedule, having to play they played the Rams and the Niners combined 5 times. They, went a total of 17-3, and a lot of their wins were blowouts, and their losses were by a combined 9 points. So like that, I do think typically that team bringing everyone back, it wouldn't matter what one of your divisional rivals did. You would at least be co-favorites with them.
Yeah.
So that I do think that part of that is that they are not the trendiest team. They are up in the Pacific Northwest, and there is, fair or not, and this is the part that I think probably riles you up a bit on his behalf, part of it is, yeah, but can you win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold?
That's exactly
right.
The
really.
biggest question mark. JSN is great. The
Yeah.
coach is great. The defense is great.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold's going to melt down in a big moment.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. And people aren't giving him credit. Like,
And
I'm
it's-
literally
They
Super Bowl
still
champ.
aren't.
Even
Yeah.
he was like, I didn't play great. Like, dude, you won the Super Bowl.
Well, in the
It
Patriots,
did melt down a little bit against the Rams that first time.
but then
Well, I know,
first game
but
of the
at some, you've crossed over into another dimension. You're no longer considered a choker
I
or
know.
a
I think
guy who
he's on
shrinks.
that spaceship to the other dimension. I don't know if he's
Won the Super Bowl.
But I'm just telling you how I think he is. That's why I said I knew it riles you up. I just think it's how he's perceived, up to and including the Patriots. I think very clearly their game plan in the Super Bowl was Darnold's going to give us a couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
it
he
felt like
almost did.
he almost did on the
Close.
first
He did.
throw of the
It was
game.
long.
The first throw of the game was this close to being our
yeah.
second throw, pick 6. But he completed it, and then obviously he played really well, and they, obviously blew out the Pats. But it does feel like there really is but Sam Darnold, even though they are the defending Super Bowl champions.
It's weird. They have not gotten the historical respect. They're a historically great team with point differential.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
It's just wild. They're up there with like the 2000 Ravens. They're like, well, this is an all-time great team. Yeah. It's just these
best point differential this century, including the playoffs. They have the best.
Yes. Like you said, they were blasting teams and they barely lost.
Oh, this is among Super Bowl champs, but still, that is something. Yeah.
And they lost Kenneth Walker, who wasn't their starting running back for most of the year.
I mean, he was their lead back, though. I mean, the starting things. I mean, he led them. I mean, he led them in yards, and he was their lead back. But regardless, like no, they didn't lose. The biggest loss for them objectively is Kubiak. Like Kenneth Walker for them is easier to replace than the offensive coordinator in theory.
I'm scared of him.
You're not gonna have to.
Welcome back to First Things First. Bleacher Report ranked hot seats. Number 1, hot bleachers.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
For coaches, number 1, Shane Steichen and the Colts. The Jets, Aaron Glenn coming in at 2. Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay at 3. Zach Taylor at 4. And I brought my team to 2 Super Bowls, and I recently just won one. At 5, Nick Sirianni.
You don't like Sirianni anymore.
Who said that?
I thought.
You tried to. I just don't think the Eagles have a strong culture of the Patriots.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
That being said, I don't think the guy should lose his job just because he's not Mike Vrabel.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail.
He's had a lot more success than Vrabel.
That's right. He's a Super Bowl champion. I mean, Mike Vrabel did catch touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
I mean, as a coach.
As far as rings
So
go,
your biggest
career.
issue with the list is Sirianni?
Yes, obviously, he's Super Bowl champion.
The last coach the Eagles fired was Super Bowl champion too, and he got a couple years.
Well, every Super Bowl
he
champion.
did fall off. Sirianni.
No, but it's to be fair, Doug Peterson fell off for a year and got fired.
They won 4 games.
Right, but so that's. I think that's what they're.
I
I don't think they are saying Nick Sirianni if they make the playoffs. I don't think they're saying any of these coaches if they make the playoffs is going to be out.
I don't want to belabor it, but then why is he on it? He always makes the playoffs.
Because I think the idea would be. I mean, here's how I look at this list. I think Aaron Glenn. Sorry, and you're not going to like this coach. I think he's almost pre-fired. Like Aaron Glenn, I'd be very surprised if Aaron Glenn is back. I think he's in a rough spot. I think that place historically, because of ownership, is very difficult to win. I don't know they have a good quarterback situation. I think he's in trouble. I look at the other 4 guys on this list. 3 of them, if their team misses the playoffs, I expect them to be fired. Steichen, Bowles, Zach Taylor, I expect them. If they miss the playoffs, or Zach Taylor will be 4 years in a row. Yep. For Steichen, it feels like he's gotten a long berth without any real frontline success. Bowles was hot seat-ish, we heard last year at the end of the year and held on. I would be stunned if any of those 3 guys can survive missing the playoffs. Sirianni, if they miss the playoffs, I would expect, unless it is disastrous, like 5-12, I would expect him to get another year, but I would not be shocked at all if Howie Roseman in Philadelphia, who, as I've said before, have fired much better coaches than Nick Sirianni, if they're like, hey, we nobody's discrediting the work that you did, and we appreciate it, but we want to move on from you. I don't think that is unreasonable at all, and I can't, to take issue with him being 5th, I scoured the league, and I'm like, all right, who would I replace Sirianni with? I don't know, Dave Canales, because he hasn't had a winning season, but they made the playoffs. Right. You know what I mean?
Is Dan Quinn
Dan Quinn is maybe.
Last year you were hearing some talk, and Daniels was hurt. Yeah. If Daniels plays the whole year and they don't show much improvement, Quinn could be.
But I think he's. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm not saying he should, but he could. I think Sirianni. And I get it. People just don't think he's a good coach. But you look at the results, he wins at least 11 games. He's been in 2 Super Bowls. He helped develop Jalen Hurts into what he is. Jalen Hurts people didn't even think he was necessarily a starting quarterback in this league before Sirianni got Doug Peterson, kind of the quarterback whisperer at that time, we thought couldn't do it with Hurts. And he did it. And I get it seems like he hasn't created a great culture and all that. I understand that. But their results are great. And I don't expect them to win the Super Bowl. I don't expect them to win the division. But if they win 8 or 9 games and miss the playoffs, should he be fired?
I'm not saying it's necessarily fair, but it is kind of the Philly way, and then for them to move on from Andy Reid, and we talked about
Reid had a few bad years though before they did it.
but they're not afraid to, if they feel like the organization isn't maximizing the ability of the players, they're not afraid to move on from head coaches, even if they've had a history of success there. And remember when they changed both the offensive and defensive coordinator, and he wasn't able to hire those guys. So that tells you how involved the front office is with the day-to-day operations. So that wouldn't shock me. With Dan Quinn, the interesting thing there is that owner came in and they get a rookie quarterback who lights it up. They go to the NFC Championship. He experienced only that. And then the next year they have drop-off. So we don't really know what his pattern is. Now he does own the Sixers, and I think he's only had 4 head coaches in I think it's 16 years that he's owned the Sixers. So it looks like he stays with guys for a little while. I'd say with Zach Taylor, it's a question of, on record, this is his final year of his contract, but then someone reported that he had a sneaky extension of 1 year to where he's actually signed through the following year. So that could save him this year because they don't like to pay dead money in Cincinnati if he has that extension.
Remember when Mike McCarthy took the year off? And then all of a sudden, he was watching all the film in his barn. But then he admitted that was a lie. Yeah, that was, he watched every snap in a barn. The barn was too far. Then Sean Payton famously was this coaching free agent, did a little media. I wonder what Mike Tomlin's long-term future in media is.
Sure.
Where if he takes a year off, just kind of clears his head, relaxes a little bit, and then just starts to I wouldn't mind throwing my hat back in the ring. Does this list change for you?
But that's the type of thing, KW, that can go ahead.
That could put a lot of other guys on the hot list too.
Yeah,
if he's available, places that maybe wouldn't even think about moving on the head coach would really feel strongly about Mike.
The Sirianni thing, and the reason I wasn't trying to put words in your mouth, but I just know. Oh, Will Buxton's going to join us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I should shut up and have Will Buxton on. Oh, okay, great.
Freedom 250.
Can't wait.
IndyCar races through the heart of Washington, D.C. in a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle, celebrating America's 250th. The Freedom 250 live Sunday, August 23rd, only on Fox. Joining us now, the voice of IndyCar on Fox, Will Buxton. Will, haven't seen you since Indianapolis. Great to have you back on the show.
Yes.
Guys, great to see you. It's been a long time. Looking forward to Washington. It's coming along, not this weekend, but next weekend. 25 drivers racing around the nation's capital. It's going to be an unbelievable and a once-in-a-lifetime show because this isn't going to happen again.
So thank you so much, as always, Will. I want to talk about the guy that has dominated IndyCar for as long as I've really been in IndyCar, which is the last 5 years, and that's a friend of the show, our guy, Alex Palou. When we were at Indy 2 years ago, one of the things that we were kicking around before the show was should we ask Alex about whether or not he can become a Mount Rushmore driver? And I remember saying, man, it feels premature, he's been great, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. It's not ahead of ourselves now, and now the conversation is he maybe en route to becoming the greatest driver ever? So it's kind of a two-part question. One is, how could you sum up why he is so dominant? And the other one is, how high on the all-time list can he climb?
Great questions. They're great questions. I think undoubtedly he's going to be seen as one of the greats. It's always difficult to compare different drivers from different generations because the technology is so different, the cars are so different, the tracks on which we race are different, the safety is different from the years of the AJ Foyts or the Mario Andretti's through to today. But when you look at the modern era, there is nobody that is able to do what Alex Palou does on track. He's amazing with his tires. He's amazing with his fuel, gets his strategy right every time, executes just so efficiently every single weekend. And the astonishing thing this year, guys, and this is what really fascinates me about this year, is he hasn't looked as dominant as he did last year. And yet after 13 races, his lead in the championship in 2026 is larger than it was in 2025. And that's the astonishing anomaly with him and with this season, because I truly believe that his rivals have raised their game. but his consistency is so exquisite that no one can touch him. I actually went back and did some looking at the stats. And if you removed all of his victories this year and moved him down to second place in all of the races that he's won and awarded the second place driver the points for the win, he'd still be leading the championship.
Oh, wow.
He'd still be leading the championship by 29 points without a single victory to his name. That's the level of consistency. That's the level of driver you've got to beat.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's way out in front. He's led for over 550 laps. No one else has led for even 200. So, but if somebody other than him is going to win it this year, who do you think it would be?
So I think we've got 3 drivers who've shown themselves to be phenomenal over different types of racetrack. Joseph Newgarden has got 2 wins for the season on ovals, but it's actually his young teammate, David Malukas, who is higher up in the championship and who stands a better chance of the title. He's yet to win an IndyCar race, but it's just on the cusp. It's coming for him. And he's such an exciting young prospect, brilliant on the ovals. So I'd keep an eye out for him when we have the doubleheader in Milwaukee later this season. Christian Lundgaard for McLaren, brilliant on the road courses. He drove from last all the way up into the top 10 last weekend in Portland. Phenomenal prospect there. And Kyle Kirkwood is brilliant on the street races. And why that's important is because this weekend in Markham and next weekend in Washington, D.C., we have 2 brand new street races. The last brand new street race we had was earlier this season in Arlington. Who won that? Kyle Kirkwood. The guy is immediately up to speed. So any one of those 3, I think, could still take the fight to him. But it needs Palou to do one thing which he never does, which is crumble and collapse and the entire weekend fall to nothing, and him to ultimately eliminate himself from the race. And as we know from his consistency, that does not look likely.
All right, so we've only got about 1 minute left. Can you explain what makes Kyle so good on new racetracks and why Palou might not have such an edge? Is it just that he does more research? Why do you think?
Kyle is very, very smart. He has a natural feel for street courses and can take risks and make them pay off. The thing with Alex Palou is he doesn't need to take the big risks. He can afford to finish second. So it's going to take a driver like Kirkwood to throw everything at it. And Palou he doesn't need to throw everything at it. He can just hold it cool, hold it steady, bring it home, and bring the championship with it.
And he's going to.
I mean,
he's going to win 4 in a row and his 5th total, and he has an IndyCar, and he's my dear personal friend.
Yeah.
And he's the best.
And Spain won the World Cup.
Spain. It's just Palou.
Will, thank you very much.
You're
11 days to the Freedom
you,
250 Grand Prix. Hope to see you at the end of the season to celebrate, and then we'll see you next year in Indy, too.
Thank you, Will.
We'll see you soon. Go Hawks.
First things first with Danny Parkins. First things first, overtime.
With
cool stats.
Stats.
The return of cool stats. I'm excited for it. Live from New York, first things first, overtime today. Dak Prescott says, why can't I talk about winning the Super Bowl? Got the champion t-shirt, Cowboys throwback. We're going to have the greatest offense of all time. Or no, offense there is.
Greatest offense there is. Greatest offense of all time spoken for.
Sorry.
We're about to get to that.
Also coming up on the OT, Bears' Jaylon Johnson joins the show with Danny. Longtime friend of the Parkins and program.
Yeah, thank you for being a long-time
speaker.
Long-time listener of the radio show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaylon used to come on weekly to the old radio show. Looking forward to catching up.
Nice. And finally, the return of cool stats. Only took a year, but finally got rid of the briefcase.
Nope.
No briefcase?
The briefcase is still here, buddy.
We didn't listen to any of your suggestions, except we're just calling it cool stats now.
Oh.
Oh, it was packed stats before.
Yeah. I took all of your recommendations under advisement.
Cool stats, though. It was cool. The cool stats had a Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe-esque climb.
Yeah.
Like certainly packed stats was the established starter, but all of a sudden cool stats came and just became legendary.
Good way to put it.
Great analogy.
Yeah.
Packed stats got
Timeless.
Tax Stats got its ribs cracked by Mo Lewis. It's just never been the same.
Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes, Nick Wright, and the great Danny Parkins.
Thanks, buddy. What's up, man?
Very excited for this. I can't wait to hear your take on this story.
Do you have 2 hours? Let's go.
Dan Pompei of The Athletic sat down with a very confident, I'm just saying, it feels like he did this.
It happened once, bro, but it's on video. We see it again and again.
It's good video.
That's how much it bothers.
Sat down with a very confident
He loves the video of Vrabel headbutting players bleeding from the mouth. That's not performative at all. Go ahead, sorry.
He has some lofty expectations behind the scenes for a day with Bears coach Ben Johnson. Here's a quote that you're going to think was AI. You've got 31 other teams coming to training camp saying, our goal is to win the Super Bowl. I want more than that. I want to have the highest scoring offense ever, which happens to be the 2013 Denver Broncos. I know how many points per game they scored, about 38. And I want to surpass them. Also, I want shutouts. I want blowouts. Parkins, your reaction to this insane quote.
I have had half of one cigarette in my entire life, and I wanted a cigarette after reading this article.
It's oddly gross. And not because of the nicotine.
It was euphoric. I read the article, finished it, texted it to like 7 friends, and then read it again immediately.
Oh my.
It is so great. You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. That is how I spent my entire train ride into the city today. It's the greatest. You have to understand, like,
Don't, Danny.
What?
Don't do the tortured Bears history offense.
I'm sorry.
4,000 yards, 50 years.
Okay,
We can't do Refrigerator Perry, Jim McMahon stuff.
Actually, it's since then, Wild. They've never been the best offense in the league in my life. 40 years. 40 years, Brew. They've never had the number 1 ranked offense in my life. They've been second twice.
It's going to be 41.
All right. You guys are mischaracterizing what he said, by the way.
Wait, they reread the whole quote.
I
want to be on your side, Danny.
Wiles made it seem like he was predicting it for this year. He said that's what he wants. It's the goal. The goal.
Well,
to one day have the best offense.
I don't know that he meant
I apologize.
one day.
Yeah.
Over the next 10 years.
That's the goal.
Or if
there's
he meant
a
it
sign
this year.
in the Bears
he didn't
facility
say it.
that says strive for greatness. Every
Danny,
win.
you don't think he's talking? If I'm like, hey, I want pizza, and you bring a pizza, I'm like, I'm talking about tonight.
Right.
I'm talking
Next
about
year.
2028.
No, I'm sorry. We can do a pro sports comparison to your guy, Wemby. Wemby says all the time on the record he wants to be the greatest player of all time. He has 0 titles and 0 MVPs. Anyone have a problem with it? He's not talking about next year. He's
greatest
saying
player of all
that's
time
what Wemby says.
Not not even the equivalent of what he said.
I think
Wait a minute.
I think that's. I want to have the highest scoring offense ever. I do think it's. I mean, I
And he
understand
ain't
the argument
Wemby.
he's making that it is the eventually supplant the Broncos. I didn't read it that way, but I at least think it's plausible.
It's plausible.
Someone far better at what he does, and Ben Johnson is very good at what he does.
Maybe the best.
It's way too early to say that.
It's not.
But he ain't LeBron James. And the last time when LeBron went to Miami, he said something like this. Not 1, not 2, not 3. How'd that work out?
I mean, they won 2.
But they didn't. He still gets ridiculed for that statement. And
I would be thrilled if Ben Johnson's tenure was akin to LeBron's tenure in Miami.
If he did that, but that's my point. He's not LeBron. He's not the LeBron James of coaching.
He might be the LeBron James of play calling.
Why?
Okay. The Bears last year.
They were the ninth best offense in the league.
9th in points, 6th in yards. Right? His first year with the Bears that were a terrible team the year before with year 2 Caleb Williams. If anyone has it, can we maybe pull up over a 3-year sample every year that Ben Johnson was the play caller? First in points. They were the best. He expects to be the best.
The Lions still had a better offense without Ben Johnson.
They have better personnel.
The players got a little bit of that credit, right?
Ben Johnson's whole thing, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. He is striving to be the best, the greatest of all time. That's the goal. That's his mantra. That's who he is. There's a strive for greatness sign for the players as they walk into the Bears facility. That's the whole thing. He wants them to be the best.
Look, I I like his energy and intensity. I think that is great for the players and all that. So I think he's changing the culture there and already changed it, no doubt. But this quote is disrespectful to the rest of the league.
Good.
The Super Bowl's not good enough. That's what he said. I want more than the Super Bowl. I want to shut teams out, be the best team ever. This is not high school football where you have way more talent than all the other teams. There are teams more talented than them, and he's talking about shutting them out, blowing them out, and all that. I'm just saying it better work, because if it doesn't work, then he's going to look like he doesn't understand what it takes to win at this level.
So I have a question for Danny, and then I want to ask you a question, maybe, if that's okay. The question for Danny is, do you think he needed to say this to Dan Pompei? I think it's one thing to have this be internal, like, guys, we're building towards it, and I believe one day, some people in this room, we're going to be the greatest offensive,
Sure.
Everything that he said, if it was part of, because they talk about how he spends a lot of time putting together his speeches and his PowerPoints, whatever it is. Yeah. If that was private, now obviously then we wouldn't know about it. That's one thing. I don't see, and I'm curious, what the value you think there is from sharing it with the reporter for The Athletic.
I don't think Ben Johnson is scared of a target being on his back. He said F the Packers. We don't like them. Blew off Matt LaFleur at halftime, and then they went out and beat him in the playoffs. Like, he's like, good, bring it on. He talks the talk and walks the walk.
No, but so, hold on. But you might say there's not a lot of downside to it, but is there any benefit? There's probably not a benefit, right?
I mean, listen, I can tell you that his players love him.
I buy that, but I don't.
And this is part of it.
But I don't think they love him because of stories they read in The Athletic. I think they love him because of what he says in the locker room, which is my only where I disagree with KW. I think is this was the question I was going to ask you. Do you think Ben Johnson has been a good NFL head coach?
Yeah, I think if in year one you make the playoffs, you did a good job.
Right. They made the playoffs, won the division, got the 2 seed, won a play. Yeah, I mean, I think that up to this point, he has, from a results stance, an excellent coordinating and coaching resume.
Yes.
He was the hot coordinator candidate year over year. Those teams were consistently excellent on offense. Mm-hmm. Now, if we want to ding him a bit because it didn't fall off without him, I actually like that more than you like that historically. But yeah, I like that. Okay, well, maybe that team was a little more self-sustaining than we gave it credit for.
Acid.
It's to a degree.
Weigh in a little bit.
Yeah, and so that's fair. But did a really good job with Chicago his first year. So I think he is objectively, you go a little far with might already be the best. I think he has high upside. I think he's very good. I think the biggest weakness he has, though, was on display in Detroit and is on display in this article, and it's the hubris and the need to scratch his own ego of, guys, I'm a big star. And historically in the NFL, that is not always the MO of coaches. Now, the modern quarterback whisperer coach, Shanahan, has a bit of that. I think McVay has a lot of that.
Yes.
Actually. I think McVay, he doesn't rip his shirt off, but he does a lot of look at me performative stuff. But he's been so excellent. He's won. You know what I mean? Everybody acknowledges that he's great, so nobody cares. I just think I am not surprised at all that a guy who, as arrogantly as you can call an NFL game, called games for the Lions. They ran more trick plays than the rest of the league combined.
Yep.
That he would say things like this. I am surprised at the level of almost dismay you have for it, because this is who he's always shown us who he is. He thinks he's great. He thinks he's great, he thinks he's going to be great, and he doesn't mind telling you he's going to be great, and that's who he was in Detroit.
I think the truly great coaches who have Super Bowls and pelts on the wall wouldn't say something like this. The closest we get to it was Sean Payton. Last year,
stuff like this.
You know what? Sean Payton said this team could win the Super Bowl, and we were like, what? Bo Nix in the Broncos, and all of a sudden they were, you know, a broken ankle away from playing the Patriots.
Close. We almost got him there.
The issue I had was it's not like the Rams. If the Rams said this, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, Stafford threw a bunch of, you know, or if Andy Reid's, if you guys had a huge acquisition, you got Justin Jefferson somehow, and Andy Reid said that, I'd be like, oh, wow, but you have some track record. Here's the two teams that were top 10 offense, bottom 10 defense. The guy is the coach of the entire team.
Yep.
So I think that I just wouldn't be advertising how focused I am on offense, and then with a little chaser being like, and by the way, I would like a shutout too. Two teams were top 10 offense, bottom 10 defense. It's the Bears and the Cowboys.
I do think the thing that's most unlikely about what he said is that he wants a bunch of shutouts. Like, I don't know that the defense is ready for a ton of shutouts. He did say in the article he wants to be more involved in the special teams and the defense.
Well, that's great.
He feels like he doesn't get a lot of questions
that's
about
good.
it.
He is the coach of the entire team.
But he also called himself out for how he called the Rams game and said that he went over every key third down, fourth down, field goal, like situational play call from last year, and said that he went into that Bears-Rams game thinking it was going to be a shootout. He should have kicked the field goal in the first quarter after the Dunze drop, was mad at himself for it, didn't take in the... So, like, he was accountable. He called out Caleb Williams in the article. He called out Colston Loveland for getting knocked off a route in an article. He does a lot of things that we, generally speaking, like from coaches, and there is a big... I mean, it's certainly a huge part of the mental health community, but like positive mental talk, manifestation, like speak it into existence.
Yeah.
He believes it. He believes it.
But there's a lot of that without, this is, I know this is going to sound crazy, but this is something, this is another thing I've stolen or I've learned from you, KW, this line. I know I'm right. I know my opinion is the right one.
I don't know if I say that.
I know you say it all the time, usually off the air when something goes wrong and you want to do it.
That is true.
I'm never wrong. I know I'm right. I know my opinion on Ben Johnson is, and Brew might share it, but I know you're a little wrong and I know you're a little wrong. He is objectively a very good coach and objectively a brilliant offensive mind. He also is over the top arrogant, and that could be his biggest weakness. Like, I know that is the right Ben Johnson take, and he has never shied away from any of that, and has always been very brazen about it from when he was a play caller for the Lions 4 years ago.
Well, to that point, Danny, he believes in himself, and he thinks Caleb, will be a superstar. But do you think they even have the personnel to
Danny thinks this is about 2029.
I mean,
I think they're building it.
You had Mahomes, maybe, the second greatest quarterback ever. Tyreek Hill, a Hall of Fame receiver. Travis Kelce, the best tight end ever, arguably. And Andy Reid, a great offensive mind, and they never averaged 38 points a game.
Well, no team ever. Yeah, I mean, the no team
or
ever.
37
yeah.
even.
You guys haven't seen Luther Burden and Colston Loveland this year in a Ben Johnson system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
This is exciting, though. It's great for content. So I appreciate
it's great for content.
It's cool.
A lot of people say statistics are only for dorks who wear pocket protectors and manage hedge funds and live in mansions with miniature waterfalls and outdoor pizza ovens. Actually seems pretty sweet when I think about it. It's not true. Stats can be cool too. Here is our first edition of Cool Stats for the 2026 NFL season.
Indeed it is. Wow.
You thought I was going to lose the briefcase and the gloves.
No, the gloves
we
still
lost
take
neither.
slightly too long.
It's all right. You know what else is cool?
What?
Glad you asked. Outliers. Wrote a book about it.
That still works.
DJ Moore is going to have a big year. Last year was an outlier.
No, it wasn't.
It absolutely was.
No, it wasn't.
His 17-game average over the first 7 years of his career, 83 catches, 1,100 yards. Last year, in the great Ben Johnson's offense, he had only 50 catches for 680 yards. But if you watched it, there was a perfect explanation for it.
What was it?
Okay. I'll tell you, they wanted Colston Loveland and Luther Burden to get worked into the system who they were drafted. They knew that DJ Moore was coming up on a huge cap hit and he wasn't going to be on the team in the future. Caleb and Roma Dunze came into the league together, so he got more targets. DJ Moore played in 17 games, but he had 55 fewer targets from 1 year to the next year.
Also, when Caleb threw it at his feet, and
well, no, he had 98 catches with Caleb in a Shane Waldron offense when Caleb was a rookie. DJ Moore has produced with Teddy Bridgewater and Kyle Anderson and Justin Fields. Yeah. He will produce.
Young DJ Moore.
He will produce. He's 28 years old. He will produce as the #1 weapon with Josh Allen in Buffalo.
Okay. So, 3 of the last 4 years, he's under 1,000 yards.
I mean, he had 98 catches 2 years ago. But yeah.
Well, if he had 98
for 988 yards.
Okay, so that means 2 years ago not only was he under 1,000 yards, he was also very low yards per catch.
Yeah, on a Matt Eberflus team, yeah.
Yeah, but on the Matt Eberflus team, he had a monster year the year before when Justin Fields was throwing the ball to him. I think the guy, and you said he's 28. I thought he was 29, but
he might be turning 29. But
I don't think he is still an elite player. I don't think that last year was an outlier. I think that he was, in his first 5 years in the league, 5 years in the league, he was totally independent of quality of quarterback play. He's in Carolina putting up monster years. And then his final year in Carolina and 2 of his 3 years with the Bears, he's been under 1,000 yards. Like, I am nervous about the impact he will have if I'm a Bills fan in Buffalo. I don't think he is the player that he was when the Bears traded for him.
Danny, I actually agree with you. I think you're right. I think he's in for a big year. So I know you got to get to the second.
No, yeah, I mean, because you want to know what else is cool.
Yes, please.
3 Musketeers.
Wait.
The three Musketeers.
The candy or the people?
Well, like 3 of them. Like, you know, the 3 amigos we could have done.
I got you.
Yeah. Like a big 3. Trios. All things that are cool.
D'Artagnan.
We're underrating the Bengals is the point.
He was one of the 3 Musketeers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Here's why we're underrating the Bengals, Brew. Their 3 highest paid players are Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins.
Okay.
When they play, they're 12-6 and score 29 a game. When just one of them misses time, they're 3-13, scoring 22 points a game. They've invested in the big 3. I know we can't predict injuries, but if they're healthy, they're going to score a ton of points and win 2/3 of their games. Do you guys think we are underrating the Bengals, Mr. Chris Broussard? Because right now all 3 are healthy.
I do like the Bengals. I may pick them to make the playoffs. I got Baltimore winning that division, but
it's not predictions week yet.
Pencil, not pencil.
And they did add to their defense. They got a couple Super Bowl guys, Maye from Seattle, Cook from the Chiefs, a couple other, Jonathan Allen, like obviously Dexter Lawrence. Like, they added some good defensive players, kind of like Dallas. I don't like their defense as much as I think I like Dallas's, but they should be improved on that side of the ball. If Burrow's healthy, they should be in the playoff hunt and really have a great chance to make it. So I'm with you on that.
Their win total is set, big number.
Yeah.
It's at 10.5. That's not underrated. To me, that's a little overrated. I don't know what the Bengals have done to deserve where they could win 10 games and not hit their over. I personally would be stunned to see the Bengals win more than 10 games. And I'm basing that off the crazy history of, in Joe Burrow's entire career, they've won more than 10 games one time. Like, the Bengals are, he's been in the league 6 years. They've missed the playoffs 4 of them. They've, as I just mentioned, they've won double-digit games twice and more than 10 games just once. I think the Bengals are not only not underrated, I think Vegas has them a touch overrated.
Wow. They're a 9-win team?
I mean, that's what historically, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I
Preview
hope
prediction.
everybody's healthy. What else is cool, Danny?
I'm glad you asked.
Everybody was healthy 2 years ago, and they went 9-8, and Joe Burrow almost won MVP.
Nick, I got to tell you what else is cool. Perfect attendance.
Oh.
The boss likes perfect attendance. A little off camera. If Kyler Murray plays in every game,
I like that.
The Vikings are going to be good and make the playoffs.
Love it.
It's very simple. Kevin O'Connell has been the coach of the Vikings for 4 years. In the 2 years where he's had one starter for the whole year, whether it was Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins, their record's a no big deal, 27-7.
I love this.
In the 2 years where, because of injury or poor play, they've had to start, Max Brosmer and Carson Wentz and Dobbs and Hall and McCarthy and Cousins and all that, they go 16 and 18. So it's a pretty simple question. Can Kyler Murray, who, yes, has had injury questions, no doubt about it, but if Kyler Murray can just play all year, Kevin O'Connell's going to get them at least league average quarterback play, and they'll win a ton of games. As a floor.
Oh, floor league average.
As a floor, because then with their defense and their coaching.
He would be league average. He would kill for it. Last year he was healthy, and the coach on the hot seat was like, "We're going with Jacoby Brissett."
Well, that was a contract.
No,
wasn't that an insurance?
I do not believe that to be the case.
They played better under Brissett.
They played better with Brissett. And by the way, also Kyler has shown no ability to play all 17 games.
Well, that's the thing. I think once in the last 4 years he's played all 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, if he plays every
career.
game, even beyond the health, if he plays every game, that means he's playing well. Because I think if he's struggling, they're going to go to McCarthy
How about
unless
this?
he just looks horrible.
No, they're not. I think that.
I mean, if they're struggling as a team and Murray's not playing well, you don't think they throw J.J.
Here's
McCarthy
the thing.
in there?
They were bad last year, right? They were
bad offensively.
They were
Yeah,
9
they were
and
excellent
8.
defense.
That's the thing.
He only can he flip 2 games?
They are.
Brosmer won 1 game when he threw for 51 yards against the
I'm not
Lions.
writing that
And if he
off.
wins the other game, okay, 10 and 7.
Accurate.
Win one of the Brosmer
dual
games.
threat.
Yeah, I don't think they're guaranteed to get the same defensive performance they got last year.
Brian Flores' defense always good.
Okay. I'll take the under on the Vikings being a 10-win team as well.
I'm going to hammer predictions week, August 31st. I'm going to hammer that.
All just a big
Jaylon
preview.
Johnson, friend of the show.
Can't wait to have Jaylon on the show.
Coming up
Many
next.
a radio hour with him. We'll talk about Ben Johnson's quotes. Why he didn't go far enough.
Oh, God. You couldn't have went
That's
any
a great
further.
exercise. Could he go further?
Welcome back to the OT. Joining us now is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, who also once upon a time was one of the best weekly interviews on local radio in the NFL with a certain host who looks like me. 2-time Pro Bowler for the Chicago Bears, Jaylon Johnson. He's got an awesome charity initiative in his hometown of Fresno, California that we will get to in just a little bit. But Jaylon with us now on the OT. What's up, Jaylon? It's been a minute, man. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Now, I love your coach, Ben Johnson. He's just the right amount of crazy. Have you seen his quotes today in The Athletic to Dan Pompei?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to read it to you. He says, I want to have the highest scoring offense ever, which happens to be the 2013 Broncos. I know how many points per game they scored, and I want to surpass them. I want shutouts. I want blowouts. He also said he wants the longest win streak in NFL history, which is 21 games. That sound like your coach to you?
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because that makes sense of why Cam's been the way that it is. So I could definitely tell that that's his goal, especially on the offensive side, to put up a lot of points. The things they've been doing on that side of the ball has really only gone up, and they just continue to set new limits for themselves. So I'm definitely curious to see what it's going to look like this year.
Tell me more. What has it looked like in training camp?
It's crazy because normally, like in camp, you think you would just work like your install and you're not really scouting too much. But it's like he's scouting me, he's scouting the defensive tendencies, and he's giving us double moves. If you jump around here, if you're covering this route now, he's going to manipulate it and make it look like this and to give you something different. It's just like he's almost treating it like a game, which is how you want to go about camp. But it's like, dang, just work on your basic installs. But he's instead attacking the defense. But that makes us better too. So for us, it's really just being able to go against one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in football, and that's going to help us raise our game on defense.
I mean, you've been around the block for a bit, both with being in camp with the Bears, when normally, frankly, like the defense is ahead of the offense. You've obviously played against great offenses. Like, how good can this offense be?
I think the sky's the limit. I don't think there's any weaknesses. I think until your point of being around a long time, there's been plenty of times where it's okay, we have a good run game, but our pass game hasn't been too good, or vice versa, and our O-line may not be the strongest, but we have good weapons on the outside. Now, there's not any gap in our offense. There's not any weaknesses that we have. I think for them, they're really – the only thing that can stop them is them. I think Caleb is going to be electrifying. I know we've seen a glimpse of what he can do last year, but this year I feel like it's only going to be better. I think he'll be more accurate. He'll be more confident in just running the show. And then, of course, Superman stuff's going to take over whenever that time comes. But I think he's going to be better. I think Ben is going to be better in his first time being the head coach. And running a team, not just offense, but I think just all of that all together collectively. And then our weapons on the outside, I think Colson Loveland's going to have a really big year, and I think our receiving core is going to really produce.
I promise I will ask you about the defense. One more thing on the offense.
Nah, you good.
I know you want to talk about your defense, but you were quoted a little bit ago saying, like, you know, Caleb's the best quarterback you've had since Nick Foles. And, you know, I love Nick, but I got to be honest. Like, I'm thinking Mahomes, I'm thinking Rodgers. Like, I'm thinking maybe.
Sure.
I was like, can we maybe raise the bar a little bit here? Talk to me about
my point.
Okay, yeah, because you want to see. It hasn't been great in Chicago. What should we expect this year from him specifically? Like, how is Caleb different this time in training camp compared to this last year in training camp?
I would say consistency. I think that's been the biggest thing I would say everybody has been looking for, and just playing the QB role. And I even told him in Frosting some days ago, like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. He's definitely been putting the ball in really, really good spots. He's been throwing the ball in tight windows. A lot of young quarterbacks come in and feel like guys aren't open, but I think now he's throwing guys open. For those who've seen the clips, I'm sure, of him putting the ball in tight windows with Colson Loveland, and Colson Loveland making some good catches. And then even just on the outside, he's just putting the ball where they need to be with better timing. So I definitely think he's throwing the ball a lot more confident. They're on the same page when it comes to timing and spacing.
So Kobe Bryant has the injury out till maybe the playoffs. Kyler Gordon is still injured now, but you're back, which is obviously massive. Tell me it's going to be okay, or should I be worried about the secondary?
I'm going to tell you it's going to be okay. I know it's not going to be as strong as we want it to be, of course, losing Kobe with things. I mean, I talked to him, and nobody expected it to be worse than what it was. So I think really just going in and just picking up the slack wherever that can be, and then guys coming back from injury. We all have a collective to put in and to add to this defense. We know guys are out, but we just got to do what we can. And I know for us, we have the guys to do it and still play at the highest level.
Do you take it as a slight? Because I got to be honest, like, I've been trying to remind people, like, the Bears are getting back a number one corner. Like,
no doubt.
But I feel like it's almost been your absence last year, and then when you played, you also weren't 100%. I feel like your absence has maybe been overlooked. Are you taking that personally and out to prove something this year?
I want to say, yeah. I think more so I'm just trying to prove to myself. Because, I mean, everybody was going to have something to say when I was healthy and playing. There was still doubt. So, I mean, it's not like doubt's not going to creep in at any given point. But I think for myself, it's just going out there and being who I proved myself to be in this league. I mean, I've been All-Pro. I've been Pro Bowl. So, I mean, for me, it's just getting back to that level and caliber of play. I mean, even going up from there, I know I haven't had a season where I've had more than 4 interceptions. So I think for me, it's just keep showing people why I am who I am. And I think more interceptions will do that. And I think some more accolades and winning and being a top 10 defense will definitely prove to people that I am who I say I am.
All right, so we used to do this on the radio. I would go through the schedule and I'd be like, oh, you got this guy coming up on the schedule. Which receiver do you have circled this year? The schedule is littered with true number ones.
I was about to say, I got to see who you put up there. I would probably say JSN. He's somebody I haven't went against in a few years. He wasn't who he was last time we played. And then I would probably say DJ with Buffalo. I would say those two are probably some different matchups that I want to have. I mean, I played Justin all the time. I played Amon-Ra St. Brown all the time. I played A.J. Brown quite a few times. Garrett Wilson, I would say that he's pretty good and been ascending. I haven't played him since he was younger.
What's DJ got in store? I got to imagine you guys might have a little trash talk on the side when DJ shows up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think just competition. I think he's always been a good dynamic player. I've definitely been seeing a lot of the highlights and connection he's been building with Josh up there. So I think that'll be good competition, good back and forth between us. I mean, we're clearly familiar with one another. So I think that'll just be a fun matchup. I haven't played a former teammate like that. So I think that'll be fun.
What is a realistic goal for the team? Offense, defense, but the team. I know everyone's going to say it's the Super Bowl, but like, how are you guys approaching this upcoming season?
I mean, the Super Bowl, I think that's why we all play the game. We don't play the game to just win a certain amount of games. I think at the end of the day, we all want to win and be the last team standing. So, I mean, for us, that's what we're being almost conditioned and programmed for throughout the offseason, throughout this camp, is just to be the last team standing. So the way we go about our preparation, the way we go about our work and our business is to be the last team standing, to be able to do hard things the longest, and hopefully that'll show at the end of the year.
Well, that's all what Bears fans are rooting for, but you're giving back to your hometown at Robinson Elementary in Fresno.
No
I've talked to you about your hometown and what it means to you on the radio back in the day. You're partnering with Reebok. You're giving away, I think it's 141 pairs of sneakers. Tell people about the initiative, but also like why it matters so much to you to give back to Fresno.
Yeah, so one of my other nonprofits that I have is called Rare Breed. And we really do a lot of mentorships back in Fresno, California. We do mentorships at different in need elementary schools in Fresno, California. And then we really just wanted to figure out ways to just help those kids that need a little help, need a little assistance, need a little extra push. So I was able to get with some teachers and admin over there at Robinson Elementary School and find out what was going on. They had summer school and they had a lot of kids some of the troubled kids that were there. So I was like, hey, let's give them some encouragement. Let's give them a way to show them that we're supporting them. And we came up with shoes. So Reebok blessed us with 100 plus shoes. So we were able to really just help give those kids something to look forward to and know that they're not in it by themselves. So I just was really blessed and fortunate to be able to get the backing to do that, and everything fell in place for those kids.
Well, that's awesome, Jaylon. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Good luck.
No doubt.
Stay healthy this year, and we'll talk to you again soon, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danny. I'll talk to you soon.
Predictions week just around the corner.
Good boy.
I mean, Caleb and Ben Johnson, shirts optional. August 31st to September 4th. Check out where I see the season going. Yes, the Bears, still good. But welcome back to the OT Coach. Mangini out here with me. Let's go to Dallas. We know it's not a Cowboys offseason without premature Super Bowl talk. You still liking it? No, didn't think so. No. All right, well, Dak says, hey, what's the big deal? I said, well, why are we hesitant to say that's what we're playing for? I don't know if it's just getting old or having kids and blatantly not giving a bleep or what other people think. But if that's what this is about, then why is anybody being hesitant about it? And why is it honestly such a big deal even saying it? So my point is, let's put it out there. Like, I'm a big manifester. Wouldn't be here in my life if I didn't think I would be here, going back, blah, blah, blah. He says we're going to win the Super Bowl. Coach, ridiculous? Problem with it?
It's interesting because Jerry is usually the one that's putting out those vibes, and now it's Dak. And look, it's everybody's hope and it's everybody's goal to win the Super Bowl. But I've been part of a lot of organizations. When I was with the Jets, we were 1-15. Then eventually went to the AFC Championship game with Bill Parcells, so I got that perspective. And then being in New England with the 3 Super Bowls, being with Jim Harbaugh, we went to the NFC Championship game. And the common theme with all those situations was it wasn't about talking about a game that was months and months away. It was about focusing on what was in front of you. And I know it's boring, but when you look at whether it's leadership podcasts or listening to different people who've been extremely successful, it's always the same thing. It's focus on what's in front of you, and you build on that because you can't control the past and you can't control the future. And that's the reality of it. The only thing you can control is this moment. And when you do that and not worry about something so far in the distance, that gives you your best chance to be successful.
I think that is all totally fair. And compared to Ben Johnson's quotes about 21-game win streaks and greatest offense of all time, just talking about a little measly Super Bowl feels pretty tame. I also would say, for the Cowboys specifically, George Pickens is on a franchise tag. They're probably going to have to pay Quinnen Williams. There's a good chance that next year's team isn't as talented as this year's team because of some of the money ramifications and a guy like Pickens leaving on a tag. So I could see them, if it starts well, being a team that trades future draft capital to add even more to this team. I do think they are kind of approaching this season as an all-in year. Not that they won't want to win next year's Super Bowl, but I do think this is the best Cowboys roster we're going to see for a couple of years.
And you may be exactly right with that, but in order for this team to be the best version of this team and to realize their potential, it comes down to consistent focus on what's right now. So many people and so many teams get lost in looking forward that they get upset in the moment, or they lose a game they shouldn't, or they make things bigger than they are because they put this out there, they have this lofty expectation, and then they go through a little bit of a rough spot, and it feels like the world's falling apart. When the reality is, just move forward with the next thing and maximize your potential.
I thought it was interesting that this was Dak doing it and not Jerry.
I know it's in an off season that Jerry's taking the pressure off the group. Dak decides, hey, I don't want to live in this world.
But again, they're the Cowboys. There's pressure on them all the time.
Yeah,
right? It's just a quote in a press conference. It doesn't have to be bigger than it is.
Dak's best season was his rookie season, where he won 13 games. Well, let's just get back to 13 games. I mean, let's start with some benchmarks you've hit.
All right, well, so the Cowboys talking Super Bowl isn't new, but let's talk schedule. This is what it is. Their win total
My favorite.
We're going, it's pencil, not pen. We're going through it game by game. If we could put the first third and break it down, I think they are going to continue to have a ton of success against the Giants. And Washington, I thought the Tunsil injury was a disaster for them, and Dallas get that as their home opener. So I think they start 2-0 in the division and actually start 5-6. I was debating
the Ravens. That's surprising to me.
So I think that the Ravens, I think they're going to get better as the year goes on. Okay. With Minter as a new head coach, getting everything going in on their defense. And I just don't know that Baltimore's ready to win a shootout. Like, I am not as optimistic on Baltimore's offense as I am their defense, and I think their defense will be better later in the year than early. I don't love their matchup in Houston against what I think is the best defense. And then that Week 6 game against Green Bay, I spent probably too much time thinking about a pencil, not pen segment. But I was like, you know what? Flip a coin. Micah might not be back. I will give Dallas the hot start to the season.
Yeah, Dallas Nation would be excited to start 5-1.
It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, be great.
It gets a little tougher here as we get to the second third of the schedule. This is where I have them going 3-3. I think Indy, Shane Steichen is maybe the least discussed coach in the NFL for how good he is. That guy has had no consistency whatsoever at quarterback. He's had all sorts of turnover all over his roster, and their floor seems to be 8 or 9 wins. I think he's really sharp. I think the Niners are an overlooked team because of how good Seattle and the Rams are, and I think you're splitting with Philly. I think those two teams are so clearly the top two in the division. I think they're both really good. I have it as a 3-3 middle third.
Yeah, I actually probably would have gone Colts 49ers wins and taken some of those wins off from the early part of the season. I'm just not sure where San Francisco is going to be at that point in the season just based off of their injury history. Really talented, but historically, until they overcome this, historically they lose key players, especially in the early part of the season.
If we go to the last third of the schedule, that's a great timed bye for the playoffs, but I think it might be the worst bye of any team in terms of the two games that it sandwiches. At Seattle, at the Rams. Like, you get to fly home and rest, only to go back out to the West Coast to play the two toughest teams in the NFL. I don't think Dallas is on their caliber yet. Obviously, their offense could be humming at that point, but then I think 2 of the last 3 at home, the easier 2 teams in the division. I think they finish strong, but I don't have them as being on Seattle or the Rams level.
See, I think that bye before the Rams game is fantastic. So if you do a good job maximizing that bye, not only with the rest of your players, but also as a coaching staff going back and saying, okay, what do we need to fix? What do we need to work on? And it gives you an extra week to prepare for a pivotal game.
No question, it gives you your best shot at the Rams having a bye the week before it, but just you want to think that, like, if it's 2 even teams, the bye gives me an edge. I don't know that the bye week is enough of an advantage to give me that pick for the Cowboys. But overall, an 11-6 season for Dallas.
And you're not loving Jacksonville late in the season, huh? You're thinking Dallas is going to be.
I'm sorry. Dak Prescott is a more reliable commodity than Trevor Lawrence.
I'm noticing in your schedules, your teams tend to start really hot and slow down at the end of the season. There's another one where you've got these guys going.
The Bears started 7-0.
Yep.
Chargers, they started pretty good.
Pretty hot. And now,
yeah. Well, we've picked 3 teams that I like this year.
Well, but you like those teams that you think are going to be good to be peaking at the end of the season, not going 500 like you've done multiple times now.
I can't help when Seattle and the Rams. I promise you, if Seattle and the Rams was in September or October, I'd have them losing then too.
But historically, the good teams are getting better in the late part of the season, not going 500.
Okay, plenty of good teams finish 3-2 to win 11 games. There's 17 games.
But they don't really typically go deep into the playoffs.
I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl. I didn't pick them to win. I picked them to be an 11-win
I like
team.
them, kinda.
I do.
Okay.
I do. 11 wins. Make the playoffs.
That would be progress.
It's a pretty solid pick.
Not quite the Super Bowl.
Not quite the Super Bowl. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Hammer to right. That one is deep, and it is gone. Oh, baby. Absolutely crushed. Home run number 27 with an exclamation point.
That was Pete Crow Armstrong's 27th home run of the season last night, giving the Cubs their 70th win and moving them to a season-high 20 games over 500. And right now, the odds say it's a 50-50 toss-up for NL MVP between PCA and four-time MVP winner Shohei Ohtani. Now, if the voting were held today, my vote would go to PCA. Now, here's where it's time for me to admit my bias. Yes, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan. Everyone has biases. The ones you can trust are the ones who admit them to you. Now, let me also be clear on this. Ohtani is the best player in baseball. He's a two-way superstar. The problem for his MVP case this year, he hasn't pitched since July 3rd. Now, if he returns to the mound soon, pitches effectively, and helps the Dodgers secure the top seed in the National League, I reserve the right to change my mind. But right now, look at the offense. PCA and Ohtani are having remarkably similar seasons. They're neck and neck in average, hits, homers, doubles, walks, slugging, and OPS. And a quick side note, PCA has 65 walks this year. That's more than he had in his first 3 seasons combined. His mid-season plate discipline improvement, remarkable. So if the offensive production is essentially a wash, that's where PCA starts to separate himself. Defense? Well, PCA is the best defensive center fielder in the game. And he leads all of baseball in wins above replacement. On the bases, it's not even close. Ohtani is only 2 years removed from stealing 59 bags, but he has 7 this year to PCA's 30. So let's add it up. Similar offense, Ohtani's pitching has stopped, and PCA has the clear edge on defense and the bases. And then I'll turn to the V in MVP, value. PCA has helped carry the Cubs through a season in which over a dozen pitchers have spent time on the IL. Meanwhile, Ohtani is playing on a super team with a payroll that exceeds Chicago's by over $170 million. All that extra help, and the Cubs just swept the Dodgers last week. They have just 2 fewer wins than LA on the season. Now, none of this takes away from Shohei Ohtani. He may very well be the greatest baseball player we've ever seen. But as Ohtani continues to build that legacy, it's okay to acknowledge something that shouldn't be controversial. This year, in the National League MVP race, Pete Crow Armstrong is second to none. That's all I've got. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the OT. We're back tomorrow with more First Things First.